You felt it your entire life. That there's something wrong with the world. You don't know what it is, but it's there. You can feel it.
Get up on out the bed and start to move your balls. And pick up a word in Solomon Jones. Word. You better wake up now.
Good morning. This is Solomon Jones on 900 AM, 96.1 FM, WURD. And I want to welcome you to another edition of Wake Up with Words. So, Kuwait, I'm going to try this word out on you, right? Because I'm trying to, put together my life philosophy, right? And, some people are feminists, some people are humanists. You know what I am?
What are you?
I'm a blackist.
Okay.
You like that?
I like that.
I'm a blackist.
A blackist.
As a matter of fact, I'm the blackest, right? And so that's what I think I am. I think I'm going to roll with that for at least a couple of hours today. I'm a blackist.
I feel you on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And of course, I got to give a shout out to my wife because yesterday we found a stash of this ice cream she made. You know she be making ice cream from scratch, right? That's how she control me. She make ice cream. Right? She made some coffee ice cream, and this ice cream is it changed my life yesterday. I had some ice cream, man. And it was great. And I helped because I went and I got the sweet condensed milk that she needed to put in it and the other stuff, the evaporated milk. I got that, that ice cream was good. And see, she be stashing stuff. You got to look through the freezer. You have to look carefully, move the frozen fish. You know what I mean? Stuff that, he ain't never going to see nothing behind this fish. All right, let me move this fish. See what's it. So I had some of that yesterday. It was great. So I appreciate her for that. Keep on making homemade ice cream, honey. Make it by the batch. I told her, just take it and package it, right? Put it in individual packages. Maybe put Karen's picture on it and just call it European and then charge triple. You know what I mean? No? All right. Well, anyway, if you think the Trump administration's fight against mail-in voting is a joke, consider this. Mail sorting equipment is actually being removed from post offices amid a bunch of operational changes implemented by new Postmaster General Louis DeJoy, according to the head of the Iowa Postal Workers Union. Numerous reports have detailed how changes made by DeJoy, a top donor to President Donald Trump and the Republican Party, have cut overtime, changed policies, and slowed down mail delivery. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer said last week that the changes in the middle of a pandemic threaten the timely delivery of mail, including medicines for seniors, paychecks for workers, and absentee ballots for voters. That is essential to millions of Americans. In theory, they called the cost-cutting measures counterproductive and unacceptable, and I agree. And to make matters worse, Alternet reports that the Postal Service recently advanced a proposal that would nearly triple states' postage costs for mail-in ballots. Trump's man at the post office is trying to make it harder for you to vote by mail because Trump knows that if everyone votes, he loses. And that's why everyone must vote. Everyone must cast a ballot. Every voice must be heard, because even though that means Trump would lose, it also means the people would finally win. We got a hot show for you today on Wake Up with Words. Senator Vincent Hughes on coronavirus relief from the state. Jay McCallum breaks down the political foolery going on in Washington, D.C. and beyond. And as always, we've got you, our listeners, calling in at 215-634-8065 or toll free 1-866-361-0900. Hit us on Twitter and Instagram at onWURD, or you can hit me personally at Solomon Jones 1. Watch us on Facebook at onWURD. But first, it's the big three, the news stories you need to know to kick off your day right here on Wake Up with Words. Story number one, in the hours after Senator Kamala Harris joined the Democratic presidential ticket, President Trump responded by sorting women into two categories. The good, quote, suburban housewife, he believes he'll vote for him, and nasty women who have not shown him or his political allies a sufficient amount of respect. After Joe Biden announced on Tuesday that Harris would be his running mate, Trump wasted no time sorting her into the nasty camp, a category occupied by the last woman to run against him on a Democratic ticket. She was extraordinarily nasty to Brett Kavanaugh. Judge Kavanaugh then, now Justice Kavanaugh, Trump said of Harris, using nasty or some version of the word no fewer than 4 times as he referred to Senate confirmation hearings held in 2018. At the time, Kavanaugh, angrily seeking to rebut emotional testimony from Christine Blasey Ford, a professor who accused him of sexually assaulting her at a party in 1992, found himself on the receiving end of questions from Harris, a former prosecutor. At one point, Harris asked the Supreme Court nominee whether he could think of any existing laws that govern the male body. Kavanaugh could not. She was nasty to a level that it was just a horrible thing, Trump said on Tuesday, and I won't forget that soon. And I won't forget, Kawesa, that he keeps calling women nasty. Like, what's up with that?
I mean, he does it because, he's sexist. That's one of the main reasons, of course. And, but also, I mean, I really, want for people to understand that, just because a woman is strong and powerful and assertive, it doesn't make her nasty. It doesn't make her a bee. It doesn't make her aggressive. It just, she's just being who she needs to be to get the job done, And so, I really hate these types of tropes, this type of language when it comes to women. And we have to really be careful about making sure that, with Kamala Harris, they don't try to just downgrade her to the point of, saying that she's, this horrible human being, because she's not, so we need to really be careful about, the language that we're hearing and understand that, these are just the tactics and ploys that he's using to make people not want to vote for him.
Well, I think, honestly, that Donald Trump is very intentional in the words that he chooses. He doesn't have many, but out of the ones that he has in his limited vocabulary, he's very intentional about the words he uses, and nasty can mean several things, and I think that is why he's using that word, right? I think that it's a double entendre, meaning it has a double meaning, and I think we have to call him out on his foolishness. Just like the other day he was talking about the coronavirus and he's calling it the China virus. Dude, don't try to blame China. China got it handled. You understand what I'm saying? The problem is with you. You've made it worse in our country than any other developed nation. It is unbelievable how bad this thing is, and it's unbelievable that we are not united in our response. But that's not because of China. That's because of you. And so, he uses language, very intentionally to try to bring across certain meanings. And I think that we have to recognize and call that out. Story number 2, Christopher Columbus dividing people since 1492. That's right. The Philadelphia Art Commission voted Wednesday to remove the Columbus statue from Marconi Plaza, placing it in temporary storage while the city deliberates on a new permanent home for the controversial monument. But the action was later halted when a judge ordered the statue's removal ceased as a legal battle to keep the marble figure at the plaza continues to play out in court. The removal will be paused until the judge rules on another motion to prevent moving the statue while the case, in which attorneys say the city cut legal corners and rushed the process to dismantle the statue, is appealed. City spokesperson Lauren Cox said that the law department is reviewing Wednesday's order, but that it is unlikely to change plans for moving the monument, which are still being finalized. Attorney George Paquetto, who represents a group of South Philadelphia residents fighting to keep the statue where it stands, called the temporary stay not just a victory for the Columbus statue, but a victory for civilized society. The judge, Paula Patrick, he said, made it crystal clear that she will not tolerate mob rule or kangaroo tactics. This is hilarious to me, right? Speaking of language, this is hilarious to me that he is saying that the people who are protesting against the statue are engaging in mob rule. Who came to the statue with guns, Kawesa? Who came to the statue with sticks and bats and golf clubs? That was your clients, George Paquetto. That wasn't the people who were coming against the statue. Those were the people who were coming talk about they protecting the statue. They came with guns. They came with golf clubs. They came with bats. They came with violence. And so it's your clients who are engaging in mob rule. It's not the other way around. That's why language matters, and that's why when I look at this, they need to move that statue.
Yeah, they do. So I have a question. Did Christopher Columbus discover America?
Nah.
Yeah, so why are we caping so hard for somebody who didn't even discover America? That's the part that I'm really trying to figure. It's not even a part of your history. If you're really sitting here trying to be like, oh, America, this, and this, it's not even our history. But y'all caping super hard for this daggone statue. No, put it in the museum, have a private owner deal with it. He can, collect tickets, money, whatever he wants to, but stop having the citizens of Philadelphia paying for this daggone statue.
And that's the bottom line. It's got to go. The people don't want it. It's got to go. I don't care how many guns you come with, how many bats you come with, how many golf clubs you come with, how much you try to project your own behavior onto other people. That's y'all engaging in mob rule. It's not the other way around. Which brings me to story number 3, with shootings spiking to levels not seen in years. Philadelphia City Council spent more than an hour Wednesday expressing frustration about vague or imprecise answers to questions about how much the city was spending on aspects of anti-violence programming, how many people were being impacted by those programs, and what metrics were being used to determine success. During the second day of a virtual emergency hearing to address the gun violence, council members wondered if too many agencies that can play a role in violence reduction in law enforcement, social services, and behavioral health counseling were operating independently of one another and without a sense of a city in crisis. We don't feel the overall level of urgency when it comes to addressing this issue with everyone, said Councilmember Kenyatta Johnson. If violence is a priority for this administration, then every department has to talk, said Councilmember Maria Canones Sanchez. Councilmember Cindy Bass said she was disheartened by the minimal details the city's Office of Violence Prevention could provide on its efforts, saying it sounds like we have a whole lot of programs that probably are with the best intentions, but behind those programs, I don't have any numbers. Theron Pride, the city's senior director of violence prevention strategies and programs, acknowledged that his office needed to do more research to answer some questions, but he and Vanessa Garrett Harley, deputy managing director for criminal justice and public safety, sought to reassure officials that they were invested in reducing the violence. Please don't mistake the fact that we don't have the numbers as a lack of urgency or caring, Garrett Hartley said. So here's the issue. The city has for years poured money into programs that are ineffective. The city has for years had people in positions who care more about process than actually helping people. And you can get caught up in that. And I think that the bottom line is that you have to help people to do something different. Some people don't know anything but the hood. Some people don't know anything but the 4-block radius they live in. Some people don't know anything but guns and violence and hurt and pain and hopelessness. Some people don't know anything but that, beginning with their household and then extending to their community. Some people don't know anything else but that. It doesn't help that our educational system is inferior. It doesn't help that you have teachers that don't care. It doesn't help that you have programs that don't help people. It doesn't help that you have social services that really are antisocial. Like, you got a bunch of systems in place that don't really help anybody but themselves. They are self-perpetuating, self-surviving systems. I'm here because this is my job. I'm here because I'm getting paid. I'm here because I get my health insurance from this, not to help these people. As a matter of fact, I look at these people as animals. And see, I can say that because I've been through some of these systems. I've been through the shelter system. I've been through the rehab system. I've been through some other systems as well. And so when I look at the fact that this stuff is not working, I'm not surprised, because they're filled with people who don't care. To the point where when you run across somebody that does care, they're unusual. They're the exception. For too many people, it's just a job. Put us in the budget so we can get our $1 million this year and keep it moving. Sign this paper so I can say that you participated in this thing so I can get my money because I get paid by the head. Everybody that comes through this violence prevention program, I get paid for that. At some point, man, you have to actually help the actual people who need it. We're going to be in North Philly today, man, at 5 o'clock. And we'll tell you where later on because I don't want to be overwhelmed with people. But we'll be in North Philly today at 5 o'clock, meeting with some brothers, man, talking about some employment. You know what I mean? We got some employers lined up. We didn't talk to some folks, you know, and so it really has to be about helping the people. It has to be about that and not anything else. Not you getting paid, not you having your health insurance, not you getting your teeth fixed because you got dental, like none of that. No, it has to be about how do we get the guns out of these brothers' hands and what do we put in their hands to replace them? Because guess what? You can't come and be like, look, I need you to put the gun down. I need you to stop slinging. I need you to get off the corner. Okay, well, what you going to give me to replace it? Nothing. Get out my face. Like, you know, come on, man. At some point, we have to be serious about helping people and not just ourselves. There's too many people out here pimping poverty, man. You poverty pimps, man. Stop pimping poverty. That's why we still got 25% poverty in this city, because you got a whole bunch of programs that are supposed to be helping the people, but it's not. You're only helping yourself. I remember being in shelters, man, and my journey is interesting, right? Because once I got myself together, I went from living in a shelter to being the director of public relations for the Salvation Army of Eastern Pennsylvania and Delaware, right, for a couple of states, right, after I got out of college. So I came back with a suit on as an executive, and I got to see some of the stuff that was happening behind the scenes. Y'all raising money, but you don't even know what you're raising money for. You don't even know these people that you're dealing with. You never actually visit the shelters that they live in. And I'm not just talking about that particular organization. That's an organization I happen to work for, but I'm talking about overall. You got people making 6 figures as executives over these systems for people who are living in poverty. And the more times the people get through, the more time that you get paid. So I come through the shelter, I leave back out, I mess up again, I come back through, you get paid again. So it doesn't really matter to you whether I get myself together or not. I come through the violence programs, I go back out, I get in trouble again, I come back through. It doesn't really matter because you get paid again. That's why I'll never accept a dime from the work I do at Man Up PHL. I don't need the money. I'm good. You know what I mean? Because ain't nobody never going to be like, oh, we going to have to lock Solomon up because he done took the money and bought a Porsche. Nah, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. At some point, man, we got to actually help the people. And that's what is so upsetting to me about this, because you got all of these programs, all of these people getting paid. Y'all don't even know how many people you helped. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. That's why we got all these shootings in the street, because you understand what the problems are. You know that it's lack of education. You know that most of the people who are doing the shooting are high school dropouts. You know that most of the people who get shot are high school dropouts. Start with education. Start with repairing the family instead of tearing it down. Start with making sure that the people in the home have jobs. Start with that. Start with making sure that they making a living wage. Stop talking about it and be about it. Everybody talking about, oh, we got to fight for 15. All right, well, people need to be getting paid $15 an hour or close to it. You got people living in poverty, man, and wonder why they're engaged in violence. Can't get a good education and wonder why they're engaged in violence. Families falling apart and wondering why they're engaged in violence. That's why. Because the people don't have any hope. You got young bucks out here like, look, man, I ain't going to live past 21. I know it, so I'm going to do what I got to do. We got to do better. Like, help the people, man. Stop helping yourself. It's ridiculous that you would come before city council and not even have numbers as to how many people you've helped. That's ridiculous. We're going to go to break. On the other side, we're going to continue the show right here on WURD.
The Dr. Emeka Show. Saturdays at 1 p.m. right here on WURD 96.1 FM and 900 AM. Streaming live at wordradio.com and on the Word Radio app.
Brothers and sisters, we've seen enough. It's time to get together. We can do big things together, just like they did. President Obama and Vice President Biden passed healthcare reform, helped rescue the auto industry, and created more than 15 million jobs. And right now, together, we can help Joe Biden do it again as president, to unify this country and fix the issues that we're facing right now. Real police reform, expanding access to high-quality education, protecting our right to vote, and rebuilding the economy so that it works for us. Now is the time for us to rise up and do this together with Joe Biden. Go to joebiden.com/Black America to learn more.
I'm Joe Biden, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Biden for president.
Word Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM. WURD. The Word Radio newsletter, keeping you informed, engaged, and connected. Sign up by visiting wordradio.com. Scroll to the bottom of the page and type your email address under Connect with Us. You'll receive the latest information on Word Radio, messages from our president and CEO, Sarah Lomax Reese, exclusive articles and multimedia content, and resources. Stay informed with the Word Radio newsletter. Now, a traffic update on Word Radio.
Good morning. This report sponsored by CVS. Some busy spots here in Philadelphia. Southbound 95, your jam Cotman down to Bridge, down to 3 lanes through that construction. Busy again, Betsy Ross through Girard, northbound side moving fine. Westbound Vine, a bit slow Parkway through the Schuylkill Expressway. Now the Schuylkill westbound Bear to the Vine Expressway, down to 1 lane. Going to get busy through that stretch. Eastbound side Montgomery through Girard. You're heavy there. There is a disabled tractor trailer off to the right. PA Turnpike and the Blue Route 476, not too bad yet this morning. 55 northbound, bit heavy. Depot now into 42. CVS pharmacists have a proprietary search tool that analyzes ways to help you lower your prescription costs. Come in or call today and get a free prescription savings review at CVS. Savings vary, not all patients are eligible for savings. Ask pharmacists for details. For more traffic information, log on to sigalert.com. Jim Bachman with your Philadelphia area traffic.
You're waking up with Word, hosted by Solomon Jones. Good morning. Right now on Word Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD.
Good morning. This is Solomon Jones on 900 AM, 96.1 FM, WURD, and I want to welcome you back to Wake Up with Word. Give us a call at 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. That is the number that you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD Radio. So we're talking about a number of things this morning, including the fact that gun violence in Philadelphia is spiking, and we got to do something about it. The city spends millions of dollars on violence prevention, and it's not preventing the violence. I think that certainly there has to be some ground level stuff that goes on. We're going to be in North Philly today, Man Up PHL at 5 o'clock. And so we are going to be meeting with some brothers to begin mentoring them and leading them into some opportunities that will allow them to do something different. And I'm grateful to all of the people that we have been working with, talking with. Shout out to Saudia Schuler and Daryl Schuler and some of the other folks that we have been talking to, Al Brown and others. And so we are prepared to begin moving forward with some other brothers today. And so we're excited about that opportunity, excited about being able to really impact people's lives. Because, you know, if you're not impacting anybody's life, what are you doing it for? Right? If you just going to work, right? Why are you doing it? You know, if you just getting a paycheck and ain't nothing changing, and you supposed to be working on the issue of violence, why don't you switch jobs and do something where you can have an impact? You know, this thing, it's not easy, and it's not glamorous. It's not any of that. But if it makes a difference in somebody's life, if it stops the next child from getting shot, right? If it stops the next family from having to grieve, if it stops the community from suffering, then it's worth it. I want to hear from you. Give me a call, 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. That is the number you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD Radio. Let us know where you are on these various things we are talking about on this morning's show. We're going to go to the phone lines, and we're going to take your calls. The other thing I want to talk about is this, because I keep hearing people saying stuff like Kamala Harris ain't black. The woman's father is black, man. She black. End of story. Like, I don't even understand why we do this to each other. You know what I mean? Like, social media sometimes can be a very harmful thing because it allows lies to spread. It allows misinformation to spread. It allows hate to spread. It allows all kinds of stuff to just spread like wildfire. And what I'm finding is that people like to believe negative things that are untrue. You Google the woman file. All you got to do is look at a picture. The man black. I don't understand what's wrong with y'all. I really don't. Maybe y'all can explain it to me. Somebody give me a call. 215-634-8065. That's 215-634-8065. That is the number you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD Radio. Let's go to Fran from West Philly on line 1. Go ahead, Fran.
Good morning, Solomon. Good morning, Queen. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
I'm good. I came in on the end of you talking about your experience. Solomon, your testimony is so poignant and so right on. I'm so inspired to hear your success story and to be able to listen to you in the morning. I once had a quote that said, service is the rent that we pay for being on this earth. I'm a firm believer that it is our job and our duty, if we have the capability, to be a part of helping the people. I'm on my way to work right now, and I'm so glad that I'm in a position to be able to inspire, to be able to encourage, and to be able to see yesterday Kamala Harris join Vice President Biden on the ticket is so encouraging and so inspiring. My husband, he's determined to make sure that on Election Day he can get everybody that he possibly can to the polls so that we can get some peace order back in our country. So thank you again. Please continue to do what you do. I'm so inspired, and we're with you 100%. Have a good day, Solomon.
Thank you. Thank you so much, and you have a good day, too. We appreciate you, and we appreciate your call this morning on WURD. If you want to get in, it is 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. Abdul from West Philly is on line 2. Go ahead, Abdul.
Brother, I hear you about the gun problem, and I just would have to say that what also has to be included in that conversation is some kind of way we have to, I say the government has to find a way to stop allowing the guns to come into these cities, because there's no gun manufacturer in Philadelphia. There's no gun manufacturer in New York or Chicago that I know of, you know. And so you can't, little kids can't be shot, and pregnant women can't be shot if there's no guns on the street. And you know, and I know people say, well, you know, well, it's a problem, but listen, we pay this government a lot of money in taxes. Canada don't have the problem we have. They don't have any guns in England, so it can be done. So it has to be included in the conversation along with everything else. But that has to be included. It's too many guns, and they come from somewhere. Where they come from, and we have to put a moratorium on. Get them out of here. If they could do that, I think that would go a long way because you can't shoot nobody if you ain't got nothing in your hand, you know. And then the other thing is about whether the sister is black or not. You know, it's been a dumbing down of America for a long time.
Yeah.
I think people, like you said, people need to maybe turn off the TV and start reading.
Yeah.
You know, and that might help in that. Because,
How about that?
Come on. So anyhow, I appreciate you, man.
Thank you, Abdul. I appreciate you too. Let's go to Diane from South Philly on line 3. Hey, Diane.
Good morning, Solomon.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm gonna send you a text message about what we're doing later on today. But go ahead.
Thank you, Solomon. Thank you.
Yep.
You know what? I got chills yesterday when I watched Biden and Harris come in with the introduction of a powerful song, "Moving On Out," Curtis Mayfield. Oh, if we go back and listen to the lyrics, because we need to move up. I'm not even going to use that word, we need to make it, you know what. No, it's beyond that. We have to move up, come together, vote. But also, like you stated, your introduction was everything that we need to hear in Philadelphia. And with the gun, how does that mother feel, the one that lost her son? He didn't get a chance to graduate. He didn't get a chance to get his eighth birthday party.
Yeah.
He didn't get a chance to win his friend. That's when people need to think about when they go out and with these guns. I lost a nephew. This month will be 20 years my twin sister's son was killed. And your family is never the same because there's a void that you can't fill.
Yeah.
You can't fill that. And it's like them laying in the bed waiting for their son to come through the door. And that's what every parent, it's not going to happen. We got to do something about it. And we got to concentrate. Every 18-year-old needs to be registered to vote. And after we win this election, we're going to say, we are one, Frankie Beverly. That's what we're going to do.
All
but
right.
we need to, and Kanye West was on Anderson last night. He makes points, but he talks so fast. You need a dictionary to break things down to really run it. Because he's just like he was like talking like a sentence with no comma, no period.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. We're going to do better. We can do better. We are here to do better. And we're going to move up, like Biden and Harris said. And people, black people, stop picking with that sister.
Yeah.
She's in there.
Yeah.
Let her do what she needs to do. We need to stop tearing each other down.
Yeah.
This is our problem.
Yeah.
Solomon, oh, God, my pressure's up.
Don't let your pressure get up. Relax.
No, because I got to deal with Sugar Lady today. She's bad. But you have a blessed day.
Thank you.
I won't be calling tomorrow because I got a little bit of surgery we got to do tomorrow. But this young 65 is hanging in there because I'm moving up, okay?
All right. I hear you.
Stay blessed, keep it real, keep it black, and love you.
Love you back. Thank you, Diane. We appreciate you.
You're welcome.
All right. Let's go to the phone lines and talk to Gail from the Northeast on line 4. Go ahead, Gail.
Okay. Good morning, Solomon and Lisa. And I'm just going to say that the Kamala Harris thing, she's not black. There have been websites, or I say blogs, that have been going at this for years. And she's been out there. And the sad part is that it's black men and some sisters, but it has been a thing with black men. And to me, what it comes down to is dealing with women in power. It's a sexist and narcissist. Because one of my sons listens to that, and I said, and I always said, why do you take this stuff? I said, keyboard warriors are just that. They're keyboard warriors. They stay on their keyboard, spouting all this hate, telling you who this is and who that. But people put their stuff out there on the front line. That's who you should be worried about. That's who you should say, can you do that? Can you do the same thing? She put herself out there. She went to school. She had to live in those shoes. You can't say, well, she's not. I said they can go through any black family and know that different children come in different colors in the same family because of where we are. So you cannot say that. And we have two black parents, but you don't know what's all the makeup of your parents because of what happened to their parents. So we need to stop that and get behind and say, we're going to stay on message just like the Republicans have stayed on message with Donald Trump when he told Ted Cruz that his father killed JFK.
Yep.
But guess
Yep.
what? All
Yep.
we can do is call her a nasty woman. Child, thank you so much, Solomon.
Thank you,
Have a
Gail.
blessed day.
I hear you. You have a nice day, too. Yeah, it's ridiculous. We got to stop tearing each other down. You know, here's the thing that really gets me. You got racists in this country whose whole lifestyle is about tearing down black people. They don't need your help. Like they doing a fine job by themselves. Like they do not need your help. Why are you helping them? That's what I don't understand. That's the part I don't get. Why would you help racists tear down your own? Why are you doing that? 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. Kwesa, maybe you could help me. Maybe you could help me. You can't. No.
No.
Yeah.
I can't. I mean, I think, we have so much self-hate when it comes to our people. And it's not just our people, so let's be clear about that. I think that, westernized culture has really infiltrated. And when I say westernized culture, I mean European culture.
Yeah.
We have to be honest about that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying all European, whatever, but I am saying that it had infiltrated into a lot of cultures, and it made it so that we hated ourselves, that we wanted to divide ourselves, that we look at other black people who are maybe from Africa, they're from Jamaica, they're from Haiti, they're from Bahamas, and we're like, oh no, you're not this, you're not enough of this, you're not enough of that, oh you're too dark, you're too light. Like, I mean, it's toxic. It's horrible at its root, and racism has spread so far into our cultures. It's sickening.
Yeah.
It really has. And so, I think that that's really the major issue is the fact that, it's created this environment for all of us where we don't want to love on each other and accept each other for who we are and where we're at.
Yeah, I think it's absolutely that. You looking at other black people like like you're better than them. You looking at other black people like, yeah, I'm black, but I ain't black like you. You looking at other black people like, well, you're not really black because you are mixed with so-and-so. We all mixed with something. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, it's ridiculous to the point of absurdity. And I think that we have to get to the point where we realize that the only way for us to lift ourselves is to do it together. That's the only way we're going to do it. We got to do it together. And we got to stop this artificial division that is rooted in racism and white supremacy. The reason that Europeans were able to colonize and take over different cultures is because they went in and divided the people. Divide and conquer. That's what they did. India and Pakistan was one country. Billions of people. They went in and divided them. Oh, y'all Muslim and y'all Hindu. Oh, y'all shouldn't get along. Y'all shouldn't be, And so you got one country that's majority Muslim, one country that's majority Hindu, and they at each other's throats. Why? White supremacy, racism, division. Going into Africa, oh, you from one tribe, you from the other. Oh, y'all need to, and really exacerbating and making worse whatever tensions were already there. Oh, y'all got tensions? Oh, I tell you what, we're going to give y'all some guns. Y'all should go and kill them. Divide and conquer. Right? So now you at each other's throats, and now they come in and just take over everything. That's the strategy. And one of the strategies that they used to do that was race, was skin color, was ethnicity, was religion. Like whatever they could use in order to divide people, that's what they did. Drugs. They went into China and people on heroin and whatnot, got the people on drugs, coming to America with the Native Americans, got them drinking alcohol. Like all of that stuff was used to divide and conquer. We need to stop dividing ourselves. That's their strategy. We're going to go to break. On the other side, we're going to continue the show right here on WURD.
Are you hungry today? Have your taste buds been sufficiently pampered? Call Eatable Delights for succulent and juicy turkey wings, no-filler crab cakes, or tender smoky beef ribs. You can pick up curbside or get delivery in Philadelphia, Montgomery, South Jersey, Delaware, and Bucks County. Call 215-236-3900 or stop by 1540 Wadsworth Avenue. That's 215-236-3900 because even your taste buds deserve pampering. And tell them Solomon Jones sent you.
These are the sounds of a dinner that almost didn't happen. A dinner now served, thanks to people like you. Due to COVID-19, 17 million more Americans may face hunger. Feeding America is helping our neighbors in need. And if you're able, you can too. Donations are being accepted at feedingamerica.org/coronavirus. Brought to you by the Ad Council and Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
Be heard. Want another way to join the conversation? Follow us on social media using the hashtag onWURD. Be heard. Stay connected to Word Radio. Independent Black Media. Join us for our annual Founders Day broadcast, a special on-air celebration of our founder, Walter P. Lomax Jr., MD. Thursday, August 20th from 6 a.m. till 9 p.m. For more information on our annual Founders Day celebration, stay tuned to Word Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD, wordradio.com, and follow us on social media, on Twitter and Instagram at onWURD, and on Facebook at 4Word. Now, a traffic update on Word Radio.
Good morning. This report sponsored by CVS. A bit jammed down the Schuylkill Expressway eastbound 76 from the Boulevard through Girard Avenue. An accident there off to the right involving a tractor trailer. Westbound side there to the Vine. You're busy there through ongoing construction. Westbound Vine Expressway delays from the Ben Franklin Parkway through the Schuylkill Expressway. The Boulevard Route 1 southbound. Watch for some minor slowing as you head into the Schuylkill Expressway. 95 southbound. Coppin down the bridge. You're jammed there through the construction. Then again busy from Betsy Ross through Girard. Northbound side. No major problems as of yet. 295 southbound. A bit heavy down. 168 into 42. 42 northbound between 55 and 295. Really not too bad there. 55 northbound. You're heavy north of Deptford into 42. CVS pharmacists have a proprietary search tool that analyzes ways to help lower your prescription costs. Come in or call today to get a free prescription savings review at CVS. Savings vary. Not all patients eligible for savings. Ask pharmacists for details. For more traffic information, log on to sigalert.com. Jim Bachman with your Philadelphia area traffic.
Back by popular demand. It's Wake Up with Word, hosted by Solomon Jones. Right now on Word Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD.
Good morning. This is Solomon Jones on 900 AM, 96.1 FM, WURD. I want to welcome you back to Wake Up with Word. We're, of course, taking your calls at 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. You can also weigh in on Facebook at FORWURD. That's FORWURD. We've been talking about a number of things, the violence that's happening in the city of Philadelphia and the city council hearings that took place. And as council was asking questions, there was a lot of frustration because some of the city agencies that are supposed to be dealing with this issue could not give them numbers as to how many people they had served, as to what it is they are doing. And I think that's part of the problem. There's a lack of accountability, but I think there's also, you can get caught up in, doing a job, and after a while you realize that you're not really helping anybody, and so we have to be very cognizant of that. We have to be helping people. We have to be reaching people. We have to be changing lives. We have to be actually impacting somebody with what we're doing. Because if we're not, if it's just about the paycheck and the process and all of that, then you might as well shut down. And so today, Man Up PHL, we're going to be out. We're going to be in North Philly today. And we're going to be meeting with some brothers. And so we're excited about that. And we've been laying the groundwork for that for a long time. And sometimes you just got to get out and just do it. Sometimes you just got to, throw caution to the wind and just actually go and just do what you've been called to do. And so we are excited about that. And you'll hear more about that later on. But I want to hear from you. Give us a call, 215-634-8065. That's 215-634-8065. You got a lot of people going around saying Kamala Harris ain't black. And I'm trying to understand why we do that kind of stuff to each other. Right? Maybe y'all can help me out because I'm really at a loss. Right? If you want to criticize somebody's politics, that's fine. If you want to talk about their record, that's fine. But in terms of like you going to question their identity, she black, man. Her father's black. She black. I want to hear from you. Give me a call, 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. I'm going to go to the phone lines, and we are going to take your calls this morning on WURD Radio. And I'm going to go first to Tony from Delaware County on line 1. Go ahead, Tony.
Good morning, Solomon.
Good morning. God bless you, brother.
I can help you out with that, Solomon.
Thank you.
We train to do, Solomon. We train to play along, to get along. We know she's a black woman, but if enough people play along with the lie and what people saying, we play along to get along. That's at them jobs, like you said, they don't do what they supposed to do because everybody playing along to get the paycheck. Everybody playing along to get along. Like you said, black people owe restoration. Black people owe. They owe. These people gave their lives and really sacrificed for this. But they sit up there and act like they don't owe nothing. They give a little, and the ones that made it on black people's backs that really made it, they put little donations in the hood, that's tax write-offs, and they not putting nothing in there like you. They ain't doing no groundwork like you do. They not putting nothing in there that's going to give the people hope. All right, I'll give a donation. Yeah, I'll buy this or this, that. Yeah, I'll write that off on my tax. That's not doing nothing for the hood. It's not doing anything, but they play along to get along. See, you speak about your journey, what you have lived, what you have experienced. I can respect a man that could give you what he lived because he knows what it takes because he's been there. These people don't look at it like that. They play along to get along. What everybody's saying, I'm going to play along with that. That has don't affect their life in no way, but they play along with it. Like you said, you can't save everybody, but you do a lot of, you put in a lot of work. And I respect you for that, and I take my hat off for you because you do put in a lot of work trying to give them the right way.
Yeah, we're trying, and we're going to keep on trying because our people are worth it. Our people are worth it.
Definitely. I agree with you 100%, Solomon. They definitely worth it.
Yeah.
And like I said, if you don't know your history, you cannot move forward because everybody say not the past, but your past tells you what's your future. If you don't know the past, how you know where you're going? If you don't know where you came from, you definitely can't know where you're going.
I hear you, man. I want to thank you so much for your call this morning on WURD. Give us a call, 215-634-8065. That's 215-634-8065. That's the number that you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD. Let's talk with Malik from Mount Airy on line 3. Good morning.
Good morning, Solomon and Kuwaisa. I want to say, I know my wife is listening, so I want to say thank you for all you do, and I love you.
There you go.
Let's get that out the way.
That's right.
Okay. Now, Kamala Harris, she's going through what we've all gone through at some stage of our lives. It's the crab in the barrel. I'm not going to let you succeed if I got any inkling that I can't do just as good or better than you. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do everything I can do to tear you down and rip you to shreds instead of saying, you know what, if you get out, you can reach back and pull another one of us out. And that's the mindset of what we have versus a lot of other people have, where I don't care how great I think you're going to be. If I can't be good as or better, I'm going to tear you down. And it's and on the gun violence thing, I think it's more we have to understand that the fool with a gun with a cause is not going to be helped. What the person we have to attack is we got to attack that person before they get to that stage, because that's the person that's going through the despair, the loss, the hurt, the pain, and everything else that leads you to that decision that I'm going to grab a gun and just go firing aimlessly into a crowd of people, hurting 3-year-olds, 7-year-olds, 10-year-olds, 11-year-olds that had nothing to do with what you came out there for. They had nothing to they did you no wrong, they did you no harm, they were innocent in this situation. So that's why I appreciate what you do and everything you do with Man Up PHL, because we need more people to get out there on the front lines and say, you know what, son, there's a better way. I understand what you're going through, and maybe I don't, so explain it to me. But somebody got to step in the line and say, listen, I'm going to stop you now and change everybody in your circle if I can stop one, because your circle, somebody in your circle may lead to us more than another little baby that we shouldn't be going to bury babies. We should be going to bury our grandparents. So we got to change that dynamic. And I thank you once again. I think managed PHL is a great thing, and I would love to support somehow, some way. So if I could, I would. So I don't know all the information.
Just go to the website, manupPHL.org, fill out the help form, and we'll be in touch.
I appreciate you.
All right, brother. Thank you so much for your call this morning on WURD. It's a lot of people out here doing this work, man. A lot of people doing this work. Mothers in Charge is doing this work. Every Murder is Real. Amir Healing Center is doing this work. The Black Male Community Council, Black Men Engaging Neighborhoods. So many different organizations, man, out here doing this work, man. And at some point, we have to support those organizations, support each other in doing this work. Figure out, how we can best reach people. How we can best change circumstances, how we can best save lives. Because if we're spending money and have no idea what we spend, that's like just throwing your money in the air. This don't make sense. And that's our tax dollars. What do you mean you don't know how many people you helped? What do you mean you don't know where the money went? What do you mean you can't give us any numbers? What are you talking about? 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. Sherry from West Philly is on line 4. Good morning.
Good morning, Solomon. Thanks for picking up my call.
You're welcome.
Solomon, I feel like, this is like deja vu all over again. The time Obama was nominated and he got people talking about, he ain't one of us. And I was like, man, really? So the question that I have for those people to answer, what if Kamala Harris, dad is a white man and her mother, of course, an Indian woman, what would they call her? That's the question that I have for them. Her father is a black man from Jamaica. Case closed. Let's move on. She's black. Okay. But I want to talk about the humanity that I saw yesterday with her and Joe Biden. Solomon, I was keen. I was watching Joe Biden when Kamala Harris was talking about Joe Biden through the eyes of his son, Bo. Solomon, I saw humanity yesterday that we haven't seen in the White House for a very long time. It just tells you that these two people they actually like each other. They can work together. They can disagree, but they can work with each other. And that's what I saw yesterday. I saw that humanity that we don't have right now. And Solomon, with this divide, and I'm glad you point this out. In Africa, that's the same thing they have been doing. The British, that's what they did in my own country. Okay, they took one tribe and said, okay, we're going to educate more people in this tribe, and then we're going to put them in control of the other tribes. And that also today set up that divide and disbelief between these two tribes in this country up to today. But guess what? The good thing that I'm so happy about, thanks to generational changes, that my father's generation, they are making things much better. And my generation, we don't care where you're from, what tribe you're from. I want to marry this person, I'm going to marry you. And then one more thing I wanted to point out, Solomon, guns. Think about this, and I keep saying this. If guns were being manufactured in Africa, they would have come there in bed, or if guns being manufactured is owned by a black man or black family company, they will have closed that company down. Okay? And this is the thing we have to understand, that guns is what killing ourselves. And when you kill your own, guess what? You have less person to go out there and stand up for you. This is the way how we should start thinking about how we protect ourselves and be there for ourselves, Solomon. Thank you for picking up my call.
I want to thank you so much for your call this morning on WURD. 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. We're going to go to break. And on the other side of this break, we are going to continue the show right here on WURD.
Dietz & Watson has been making premium meats and artisan cheeses for over 80 years. And when it comes to stacking sandwiches and party platters, they've got something for everyone in the family, like maple honey turkey breast, American cheese, buffalo chicken, and more. So get to your local deli and taste 4 generations of family recipes. With Dietz & Watson on the table, you'll have everyone coming back for seconds and thirds. Dietz & Watson, it's a family thing since 1939.
Word Radio Digital Tip of the Week with Stephanie Humphrey.
I'm your Tech Life expert, Stephanie Humphrey, and this is your Word Digital Tip of the Week. Browsing the internet at a coffee shop might be one of your favorite pastimes, but there are some risks to using public Wi-Fi. Whether you're at a coffee shop, a library, or a community center, the free Wi-Fi they offer could open you up to hackers if you're not careful. It's not recommended that you do any of your online shopping or banking when connected to public Wi-Fi. Hackers have tools that can sniff out your usernames and passwords. Reading ebooks or online newspapers is fine, and browsing shopping sites is okay too, but when you're ready to purchase, wait until you get home. Also, make sure you're using the official Wi-Fi of the actual business or organization, and you're not connected to another network that looks similar but might be compromised. And if you're not sure, ask an employee. Surfing the web in public is something we all do. Just make sure you're staying safe. Stay tuned to WURD for more tech tips and stay connected with us at wordradio.com.
The Word Digital Tip of the Week is brought to you by Comcast NBC Universal. This is Word Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD Philadelphia. Independent Black Media. It's Wake Up with Word, hosted by Solomon Jones. Right now on Word Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD.
This is Solomon Jones on 900 AM, 96.1 FM, WURD. I want to welcome you back to Wake Up with Word, and we're waiting for our guest. So as we await our guest, we want to check to see what you guys are saying on Facebook. You can, of course, weigh in on Facebook at Full Word. That's FORWURD, FORWURD. And let us know where you are on any of these things we are talking about on this morning show. 215-634-8065, of course, is the number you can call to weigh in. What are people saying this morning, Kawesa, on Facebook?
So we do have a few comments here, and so one is from Laura Elam saying, "Good morning, Solomon. I would just shut people down who question someone else's heritage." And she went on to say, "Sometimes when people are pointing negative things out that other people, sometimes you got to put them on the same side of how they pointed, so they can truly understand how they sound and how unnecessary their actions are." So that's one comment there, and then. Deborah Dorn Carter said, "I saw something on Facebook a while ago where racists made fun of the black race killing each other. He said they're killing each other so we don't have to. I believe guns are being brought into our neighborhoods by outsiders. Also, 45 is like a sheep in wolf's clothing. He is quick to criticize Biden and Harris. You know as well as I that Harris will chew 45 and Pence both up and spit them out." She did go on to say a couple other things as well. But then also we have Ozias Johnson. By all accounts, Black Kamal's record as a public servant has been more negative on the black community than being positive. That's one comment that was made. And then Gail Robinson said, "It is amazing to me how they say this about her, but wasn't Obama's mother white and his father Kenyan?" Kamala's father's slave ship stopped on one of the islands along the way. She represents what is best and most amazing in all of us. We don't have the luxury of choices. That was months ago. She's here, standing tall and ready to go. I am with her because this is a life decision. The choice is ours to be on the right side of history. So those are some comments we have.
Okay. So as we await our guests, we are going to take some calls. 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. That is the number that you can call to get in on the conversation. Right here at WURD Radio, and let us know where you are on any of these things we are talking about on this morning's show. 215-634-8065. That is the number that you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD Radio. And of course, there are some things going on with the state. And our next guest is here to talk about it. State Senator Vincent Hughes joins us on the show this morning. Senator Hughes, good morning.
What's up, Solomon? How are you this morning, brother?
I'm good. How are you?
Grinding already, just like yourself, man.
Okay. All right. So as far as COVID-19 goes, of course, we're looking for all kinds of help. Businesses really affected by what has happened. Individuals have lost their jobs. People are waiting in food lines that have never had to do that before. Just a whole lot going on. What is going on with the state as far as helping some of our small businesses to deal with the fallout from this virus?
Well, as you remember, we began a program, myself, Senator Street, Senator Haywood, Senator Anthony Williams, Jordan Harris, Rep. Harris, Morgan Stevens, a whole bunch of legislators in Harrisburg, initiated the conversation back in April about the idea of driving grants, not loans, grants, to small businesses, micro businesses, businesses in the neighborhood, businesses on Main Street, historically disadvantaged businesses. We began this conversation back in April. Long story short, after a lot of work, creating something that is groundbreaking, this week, about $96 million in grants is being driven out to about 5,000 businesses all across Pennsylvania. In each and every county, some businesses are going to get some assistance. About 2,500, maybe a little bit more of those businesses are historically disadvantaged businesses, and they will get probably about $50 million in grants, averaging about $19,000 per business. It's the first time this has ever occurred in Pennsylvania. It's one of the first programs of its kind in the nation. And it's pretty historic. It touches a lot of folks, folks that you've talked to, folks that you've spent money in, businesses that you know. And so it's important that folks know that, you know, sometimes good things do get done. But here's the rub. The rub is that we need more money. The money that we were able to utilize to drive out to these businesses Started at the federal level, came to the state. We took it and crafted this kind of program. But we'll have another $100 million to drive out, and that'll probably be driven out in about a month, maybe 6 weeks. And then that's the end of the line for this funding. And the question is, where can we find more funds to assist these kinds of businesses? As you know, Solomon, and you've been in government and you've watched these processes before, most of our small businesses don't get the kind of attention that they need to get. The banks, the other financial institutions just don't want to put up the time, the effort to really deal with these very micro businesses, these very small businesses, less than 25 people, less than $1 million in revenue. So we were able to set this up. Now we need greater funding sources, more funding sources to go into the formula to drive out to assist these businesses. We helped 5,000 businesses, but here's the deal. 50,000 businesses applied for this money, and their total request was about $870 million. But we were able to drive out 96. We're going to drive out another 100. But we have to find more resources for this. We have to find more resources because this is getting to where it needs to get to.
Okay, and so how do people learn more about how to get these resources in their hand?
Well, you go to Pennsylvania, PA, smallbusinessgrants.com. Rather, PAbusinessgrants.com. I'm sorry, PAbusinessgrants.com. That's the website that folks can utilize. And folks should continue to apply. What we need to do is, because the application process is not a first come, first serve, it is the issue of need. And so we don't hold against folks, whether the CDFIs don't hold against folks whether they're late in the application process. It's always smart, as you know, it's always smart to apply early. But the real issue I think we need to understand today, and again, let me be real clear, those 45,000 businesses that did not get assistance in the first round, their application wasn't kicked out. They're in the running for the second round of resources, the $100 million that's scheduled to come out. The deal is that we need these businesses, along with every one of us, all of us, to be advocates for the increased funding, which is starting in Washington, D.C. When you hear this conversation, Solomon, about the HEROES Act at $3 trillion and McConnell and Trump pushing against that and only want to put up $1 trillion and want to cut the unemployment compensation money from $600 to $300, the money that we need is wrapped up in that HEROES Act, okay? The money that we need to fund this program to get down to these small businesses, these mom and pop shops, is wrapped up in that HEROES Act. When McConnell and Pat Toomey in Pennsylvania, to be real, to point a finger, say, well, we don't need to give out that much money, that's not necessary. They're really saying that these small businesses are not worthy and they don't need this kind of assistance that we just provided them this week. So we need folks to put on their advocacy hat, which folks listening to WRD do well, you do very well, and say, look, we need these extra dollars because there's a lot of people who are suffering and they need help. And we need to drive out the help. We need extra funds to drive out as much help as possible to get to these small businesses.
All right. So one more time, how do people get this help now, the help that's available now? Where do they go? What website, what phone number do they call?
PAbusinessgrants.com. PAbusinessgrants.com. They can connect also with their CDFIs, the Community Development Financial Institutions. You would know the Enterprise Center. You would know West Philadelphia Financial Service Institute, the Reinvestment Fund, Beach Interplex, and there's 17 all across the state. If you go to that website, that will help you see the entire portal. But again, I gotta emphasize, more folks can apply, should get in the queue, but it's got to be an issue of advocacy. If we don't advocate for more funding, we're not going to be able to help more businesses. 50,000 applied. All right, we were able to help 5,000. All right, legislators, senators, everybody working together, try to make this happen. But 45,000 folks, just imagine it, are sitting waiting for assistance, and they're not necessarily getting it from anywhere else. This is a perfect vehicle to get it to them. It's not the best in the world, but it's darn sure better than what else has been provided. We just need more resources. We have to have more resources to get out to these businesses.
All right. That's Senator Vincent Hughes. I want to thank you so much for joining us this morning on WURD.
Thanks, brother. Take care of yourself.
All right, you too. 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. That is the number that you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD. Of course, in a couple of minutes, we're going to be talking with Jay McCalla about some of the political foolery going on in Washington, D.C. and beyond. So we're going to be talking with him. But right now, we want to talk with you. So give us a call, 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. That is the number that you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD Radio and let us know where you are on these various things we're talking about on this morning's show. I'm going to go to the phone lines, and we're going to talk to Hakeem from South Philly on line 3. Good morning, Hakeem.
Hey, good morning, Solomon. How you been?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, God good, man. God is good, man. Hey, just with the Kamala Harris topic, I blame the news media because they keep, stirring the pot, saying that African American, Indian, she's African American. Like, stop the foolery, And the thing is that she even said that she was black. When she was going to. When she was at the convention, Joe Biden, when she was talking in bus, she said that she was that same black little girl during that time then.
Yeah.
And so, so what's the issue? This is like they did the same thing with Obama. He's black. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. We, like you said too, we're all mixed with something we probably don't know or family lineage or heritage or whatever, but we're all mixed with something. So yeah, that's all I had to say, man. And hey, you keep doing a good job, brother. Appreciate you.
Yeah. Appreciate you too. Thank you so much for the call this morning on WURD. I'm going to go back to the phone lines, 215-634-8065. Let's go to Princess from South Carolina on line 4. Good morning. Okay. All right. She hollered at somebody too. Why black people always holler? 215-634-8065. Let's go to D from Winfield on line 1. Go ahead, D.
Hi, good morning. I'm a first-time caller. I had to get my nerve up.
Oh, thank you.
But I have a couple of comments. We all know that Donald Trump is a sexist, and he would have dogged anybody that Biden picked. So, that's immaterial. He was going to do that. And I'm tired of people asking how he could have picked her when she tore into him in the debate. So to me, I think that showed character, among other things, because you want someone who's tough and can stand up and take on people and, not agree with everything you do because, everything you do is not correct. So I think they'll balance each other out. But a few weeks ago, I heard a caller say that he didn't believe black people were committing a lot of these crimes, like black men. But when you see black men running from the crime scene with the gun in their hand, what do you think? They're black people, white people in blackface?
Yeah, how about that? Do I think they're white people in blackface doing what?
He said that he didn't believe black people were committing a lot of these crimes.
Yeah.
But you see the black men running from the crime scene, guns in their hands. And I'm saying, well, what do you think? These are white people in blackface doing this?
I know. The reality is we shooting each other.
Exactly.
That's the reality. We have to recognize that reality in order to even be able to deal with it. And trying to pretend that it's something else is, it's not helpful.
It's not helpful, right? But I just wanted to make those comments. And I think this is a terrific show. I've just started listening maybe 7 or 8 months ago intensely. And It's very good.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And we appreciate you listening every morning right here on WURD. We want to hear from you again, so please feel free to call. Let's go back to the phone lines. That's Princess in South Carolina. We appreciate her. Let's go to D from Winfield on line 1. Go ahead, D. Oh, I'm sorry, on line 4. Good morning, D. That's Princess. This is Princess. Go ahead, Princess. How you doing?
Good morning.
Mm-hmm.
Good morning, Solomon.
Good morning.
And Kwase.
Kawesa. Mm-hmm.
I'm
But go ahead. That's all right. Go ahead, Princess.
Yes. What I'm saying, y'all was talking about the what's her name, Kamala Harris.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm not gonna name who, but someone had an aunt that looked like her.
Yeah.
And they was able to gain knowledge that they would never have gained because they was able to send her places where they couldn't go. So people have to get smart. Now, I don't want to say too much about that, but I'm going to leave that there.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes you have to use, if you live in among foxes, sometimes you have to look like the fox, and I'll leave that there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for a woman like Stacey Abrams, she can lead from outside the box, like Dr. King. That's the leader we need outside the box, where she won't have any constriction with the political stuff. So it's not like, oh, well, we can't. This is a woman who's gifted. This is the leader that can get out there and get things done like Dr. King. I'm too emotional to go any further, but I hope y'all get something out of that. Thank you.
All right. I want to thank you so much for your call this morning on WURD. 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. That is the number that you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD. And let us know where you are on anything that we're talking about on this morning show. What are they saying this morning on Facebook? Of course, you can weigh in there at FORWURD, FORWURD. That's FORWURD. That is the number that you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD Radio. Of course, that's where you can also weigh in on Facebook. Kwesa, what are they saying on Facebook this morning?
So we do have a few comments here. Terry Pittman saying, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. There may be many other city-funded programs that collect a check but do not improve the people upon which they were given funding. So that's one comment. Kwesi Vickers Jr., no more excuses. It's nation time. Gloria Gainey, good morning, Biden-Harris. The question on what color Harris is just another meaningless distraction. Let's focus on the hope and the positive things that the Biden-Harris ticket can bring forth. We are so desperately in need of change in that White House. Let's vote like our lives really do matter. So that's another comment. Linda Pierce said, not why black people always hollering. So that's another comment that we have. And then I'm trying to scroll here. Rovetta Everett Gilmore is saying, she's responding to someone, but she's saying this is why we have to focus our energy on unifying and doing for self. No political party is going to save black people. From what I understand, the rule is one drop of black blood, you're black. So that's another comment. Winona Hayes Poole, just saying good morning. She says, good morning, Word family. How's everyone on this thankful Thursday? So that's another comment. Thanks for asking. We're doing well. Thank you. Yep. And Arnold Thornton, good morning to you as well. So just thank you so much to everyone who is tuning in through Facebook as well.
Mm-hmm. All right. So 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. I got a lot going on, man. We try to do a whole lot, try to get a whole lot of stuff done. But we appreciate each and every one of you. Of course, Jay McCalla coming up in just a couple minutes. As we talk about some of the political foolery that's going on and what it really means to have Kamala Harris on the presidential ticket. So we're going to be talking with him in just a couple of minutes. I'm Solomon Jones. This is WURD. We'll be right back.
If you want to start your morning with mindfulness, motivation, and inspiration, tune in to Daybreak with me, Helana, here on WURD Radio, Monday through Friday from 6 to 7 a.m. I'm a health and wellness coach with over 15 years experience helping people to transform their lives. On the show, we talk health and wellness 360, from getting your mind right to getting your money right. So let's rise and shine together right here on WURDradio.com, 96.1 FM, 900 on your AM dial on Daybreak every morning.
RG Electrical Inspections provides electrical inspections for realtors, licensed electricians, and homeowners. RG is a certified plans examiner and licensed underwriter providing assistance for PICO outages. RG is also listed on PICO's website. RG Electrical Inspections is a licensed and insured underwriter serving Philadelphia and surrounding areas. Call if you have plans to review today, 267-902-1655.
Want the latest in Word swag? Check out the shop tab on WordRadio.com. Hoodies, tees, and more in a variety of colors. The shop tab on WordRadio.com. Show the world that you're all about black. Talk media. No fear, just facts. This is WURD, independent black media. Now, a traffic update on Word Radio.
Good morning. This report sponsored by Staples Store. Schuylkill Expressway eastbound still jammed up City Avenue right through Girard. Accident there involving a tractor trailer has been cleared. It's great news. That delay will ease out, but a heavy ride for the time being. Westbound side, you're busy. Vera Avenue through the Vine Expressway down the one lane through that work zone. Westbound Vine slows from the Ben Franklin Parkway in through the Schuylkill Expressway. Southbound 95 jam Cobman through Bridge down to 3 lanes there with work. Then again delays from Betsy Ross down through Girard. Northbound 95 that is moving fine this morning. 55 northbound Deptford into 42 also a slow ride there. Staples helps your business with everything from office essentials to health essentials at amazing prices. This week at 40% back in rewards when you spend $75 on Anchor, $175 on toner, ends 8/15. Exclusions apply. See store or staples.com/40 in rewards. Staples. For more traffic information, log on to sigalert.com. Jim Bachman with your Philadelphia area traffic.
It's Wake Up with Word, hosted by Solomon Jones. Good morning. Right now on Word Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD.
His voice quivered. Nobody repents better than a politician who's been caught. I think basically they're just annoyed that they didn't say it first. I sat down on a train. Next thing I know, I'm standing here in the lobby of the Trump Plaza. How did I get here? I don't know. Clearly there was an endorsement that was going to happen that day.
And now, Jay McCallum, only on Wake Up with Word.
Good morning. This is Solomon Jones on WURD Radio, and I want to hear from you, Jay McCallum. We appreciate you, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing really good. I'm looking at the rain. I like rain. So this is a good day. Yesterday was a good day. I'm feeling fine.
Okay, well, that's Jay McCallum. He held senior positions in both the Rendell and Street administrations, a veteran political consultant. His work has been published in the Inquirer, Philadelphia Magazine, and the Chestnut Hill Local. He brings deep knowledge to politics and does so from an African-American perspective. So, Jay, the biggest news that happened this week, of course, is Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris became the vice presidential nominee, and like any politician, she's got positives and negatives, and black folks are weighing all of them. Jay, what's your take?
I'll tell you, I think the most important thing is to manage our expectations of Senator Harris. From this day forward, her voice is not going to be her own. She has to support whatever Joe Biden supports. Like every vice presidential candidate, a member of the presidential candidate staff is going to be traveling with her to make sure she stays on message. So if you admire her independence, forget about it. It's gone. Normally, the vice presidency doesn't have to be a big deal. Idiots and crooks like Dan Quayle and Spiro Agnew have held the job. But fate has dealt this senator a very fine hand. It feels like Biden, right now it does anyway, it feels like Biden's going to win. And almost the minute he does, he's a lame duck. He will have a lot of juice with the Congress for the first couple of years, but his power will slowly dry up as politicians realize he won't be part of the future. at the end of his term, Biden's going to be 81 years old. Joe will be a one-termer, and Kamala Harris knows it. She is beautifully positioned to be the 46th president of the United States. All she has to be is flawlessly loyal and make friends with all the rich donors she can get her hands on. You know, that's part of the good job. She'll build a favor bank by campaigning for any Democrat who wants her help. She's already popular with Wall Street and Silicon Valley because of her moderate politics, so she'll have money coming her way when she runs. But one thing has bothered me about the news coverage of her announcement. Too much attention has been paid to her ethnicity, just as they did with Obama. Mixed ethnicity is not unusual anywhere. This country is loaded with whites who are Scotch-Irish or French-Russian. But we are the mixed ones. When we're mixed, there has to be a New York Times column, and CNN talks about how we deal with our dual identity. The same thing they did with Obama. Even before blacks get a chance to ask about their credentials as African Americans, Solomon, it seems to me the white media wants to hold Obama up and Ms. Harris up to ask if they're black enough. That's the only thing I can think of to justify their examining their ethnicity when who knows what Paul Ryan's background was? Who knows what, Donald Trump's background is, But they examine our bloodlines as though we are from the American Kennel Club. This one is a boxer mixed with some other breed. They examine us too closely. And that's the only thing I don't like about what's going on this week.
Yeah, it's interesting, but I think a lot of that, Jay, is coming from us. I'm hearing a lot of black people like Kamala Harris ain't black. Her mother was from India. She ain't black. And it's a deep thing to see us doing that to us. You know what I mean? Like, what's that about?
Yeah, a cop knows what she is. A cop
that?
knows she's black.
How about that?
Apply the cop test. What would a cop do to her? A cop knows she's black, so no more questions. No more questions. The cop is the ultimate brown paper bag test.
You preaching now. I mean, it's a deep thing to see, man, because I think that, we apply impossible standards to each other. And I'm starting to believe when I look at some of the commentary that I'm seeing from people, and these are the same people that criticize everything. Like, I think that, you got some people who, and especially on social media, it tends to amplify the voices of those who are criticizing. So you have people who have become critics for a living. Like, they don't say anything positive about anything. Anything they say is about criticism. And I'm watching these people, man, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. You going to criticize this too? Like, we got a chance to have somebody who is actually going to listen to and understand the concerns of black people. It's not to say that everything is going to change overnight, because it's not. But to down a black person before they even have a chance to open their mouths, it's amazing to me, Jay.
It is. And we know how hard it is for a black person to get from one step to the next. If you come in working for the city as a clerk 1, it's hard to get to clerk 2. They don't try to make it easy for you. And so multiply that times 1,000 or 1,000,000 for a young black woman who becomes district attorney, who has the nerve to run for DA, and then has the nerve to run for attorney general, and then the nerve to run for the Senate. We got to applaud some of our folks sometime now, because that's quite an accomplishment. I'm not going to vouch for all of her policies, but I'll vouch for her courage, and the fact that she'll represent us well.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll see. I think she absolutely has courage, and she's smart, very smart, man. You watch her break down Bill Barr. I thought the man was going to start blubbering.
Yeah. And that's a great thing. Black folks need to go to YouTube and search Kamala Harris. You'll see a lot of her tough interrogations of Justice Kavanaugh, Bill Barr, she tears them down in a way that will make us quite happy.
Yep, absolutely. So, we'll see, man. But when I'm seeing, black folks saying things like she's not black, I think that's the thing that bothers me more than anything else. Of course, Trump called her a nasty woman and this and that. But it really it bothers me, man, that we can't take a pause and say, okay, this might not have been my person. Right. This might not have been, my candidate. This might not have been the person that I liked initially. We asked for a black woman on a ticket. We got it. And I don't know. I just feel like sometimes we need to take a pause and be like, OK, let me process this, from my lens of blackness and see if this is something that I can get behind. I think some of us, sometimes we critique even before we get a chance to process it. And I'm especially seeing that on social media.
Yeah, I agree. We have to, know when the word thankful is the wrong word for her nomination, for her being chosen. It's the wrong word. But we have to know when things are going our way. What would we be saying if we didn't have Kamala Harris on the ticket? If it had been Amy Klobuchar, or some of the other white women that he had interviewed, what would we be saying then? We have to know when we've had a win.
Yeah.
And she is beautifully positioned to be the 46th president of the United States.
She'd be the 47th because Joe Biden would be the 46th.
How about that? That's right, because Trump is 45.
Right.
She'd be 47.
Yep.
And Trump and Biden ain't running for a second term. He just isn't, not at age 81. So we have to focus on Kamala Harris and understand that the odds are excellent that she will be president of the United States. And we can start working with her, start talking with her. But we know that in our race, we got everything from chalk to chocolate. So we need to just keep our lips closed when it comes to throwing bad words against who's so black, who's not black enough. That's an old game. We need to quit it.
Yeah, we really do. But speaking of games, there's something going on with the congressional races, and it's a little bit concerning. So when Marjorie Taylor Greene won the congressional primary in a Republican-dominated Georgia district, her history of racist remarks wasn't her worst problem. She also embraces the QAnon conspiracy theory, which falsely states that Donald Trump is battling a secretive group of deep state saboteurs who worship Satan and traffic children for sex. What's up with the GOP, Jay?
Man, Solomon, white folks have lost their ever-loving minds. They are believing in comic books. That's a comic book storyline where Trump is the hero with a shield and he's battling the dragons below the earth. That's crazy talk. They've been brainwashed into hating Democrats the way Germans hated Jews. It was George Herbert Walker Bush who started this bashing of liberals, bashing of Democrats, bashing of the left. Then it moved into right-wing crazy, started calling Democrats the party of gays, pot, and abortion. Democrats were anti-God in terms of the right-wing rhetoric. And they believe that Hillary Clinton is also involved in this sex trafficking of children. How crazy. Clearly these folks are warped, but they're serious. But the Republican Party dare not reject them. The Republican Party is desperate. Considering that only 25% of Americans are registered Republican, they have to take who they can get. The Republican Party is dying. It's a party that wins elections through racial discrimination, fraud, and sabotage.
Yeah.
Remember, neither George Bush nor Trump actually gathered enough votes to win the presidency. It used to be that screaming about abortion and gay marriage was enough for them to win. But the country's moved forward, and they're desperate for votes. And so they accept these people, these QAnon people, just a ludicrous name. The Republicans, Solomon, are relying on a flock of filthy fools to deliver the presidency once again to Trump. I must just sit back and watch this craziness unfold, because it will be craziness.
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me, Jay, and I'm concerned about it, Because if you got people believing these crazy conspiracy theories, and winning elections, you understand what I'm saying? That means that the people in their district, that the majority of people in that congressional district heard her talking about, this whole QAnon thing where you got Satan worshipers and they trafficking children and they after Trump like craziness, right? If you have somebody running for office who believes that and the people vote for them anyway, what that means is that is spreading through that party as if it's real. And that's my concern, Jay, that you would have people who would vote for somebody who believes in that foolishness.
And it's the demonization of your enemy and the dehumanization. If Democrats are running sex rings with children, you're justified in doing whatever you need to do to stop them, And in the same token with blacks in the South, if you think that black men are all out to rape white women and they're just standing on corners waiting to commit crimes, you're justified by treating them badly. You're justified in batting them around. So they start this stuff to dehumanize the opposition. Trump's got some wild, crazy animals on his side, and they feel morally superior. They see Trump as being morally superior. This little movie in their heads of Trump battling these awful people. And so they'll do anything for this great, good man, and they'll do anything to these people who they think are behind this terrible, monstrous conspiracy. This is how civil wars start. This is how awful things start, where you think the other side is just a bunch of mice and roaches and ants to be killed because they're so depraved. This is dangerous. You're right.
Yeah. It goes beyond, though, just this candidate, because there are several candidates on the GOP side who are embracing this theory and who are getting major play. And you're right, Jay, it is about the dehumanization and the demonization of your enemy. Because if you can look at other people and think, well, they're a Satan worshiper, or they're an animal, or they're a rapist, or they're a criminal, like when you can look at other people and just put them falsely into those kinds of categories, well, then you're right. It justifies anything that you do to them.
Yeah. Look at the things they said about Obama, the terrible things they said about Obama, many of which didn't meet the big-time media exposure, the calls for his lynchings on social media, etc. Once you think somebody is nothing, just nothing, that person is in trouble because you're liable to do anything to them.
Yep, that's kind of where we're at with what's happening in Congress. And so as you watch the party, and to their credit, a lot of the party leaders kind of distanced themselves. But the other thing that this woman did in order to win that primary, she engaged in a whole lot of racist tropes, a whole lot of racist language as well. And of course, that was lapped up in her district in Georgia. And so when you mix in, so you've got the QAnon theory where you got these deep state Satan worshipers who are trafficking children and trying to get Trump, right? That's their thing, which is bizarre enough. But when you couple that with racism, it's a dangerous thing, because now not only are the Satan worshipers the evil people, but black people are the evil people too.
Yes. And the beautiful thing about the way they position Trump in their fantasy is he's the enemy of both of them. He's an enemy of the baby killers and black people. So this guy really is the sun, the moon, and the stars. This is how cult followings like Adolf Hitler's began. He created this fanaticism. Why don't you have jobs? The Jews have all the money, so go to them. George Wallace, why don't you have jobs? The niggers got all the jobs. When the railroad was laid in California at the turn of the century, and they brought all these Chinese men and women over to work on the railroad. Well, white men didn't have jobs. Why don't you have jobs? It's the Chinamen. And so they would go beat up the Chinamen. That's what they called them at the time. Turning people against on one another is the worst kind of politics. It's the most evil kind of politics. So get out there and have a happy message about what I'll do for you, not what whose neck I'm going to put my foot on, because that's godless politics.
Yeah, absolutely. That's Jay McCalla. Jay McCalla, of course, is a veteran political consultant. We're going to talk more on the other side of this break. It's Blackball Politics with Jay McCalla. I'm Solomon Jones. We'll be right back.
Recovery starts with a call. Pennsylvania's Substance Use Disorder Hotline is staffed by real people who are trained to help. They're here 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They'll get you or your loved one into treatment regardless of your access to insurance. If you or someone you know is suffering from addiction, call 1-800-662-HELP. Recovery starts with a call.
Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
Dietz & Watson has been making premium meats and artisan cheeses for over 80 years. And when it comes to stacking sandwiches and party platters, they've got something for everyone in the family, like maple honey turkey breast, American cheese, buffalo chicken, and more. So get to your local deli and taste 4 generations of family recipes. With Dietz & Watson on the table, you'll have everyone coming back for seconds and thirds. Dietz & Watson, it's a family thing since 1939.
Support independent black media and join the 4Word movement now at 215-425-7875 or visit wordradio.com.
Tune in Saturdays from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. to hear Empire Capital and Consulting founder Mark Palmer's show titled Black Money, Black Power. This show centers around black money and how black power is derived from money. Tune in every Saturday from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Black Money, Black Power, hosted by Mark Palmer.
You're waking up with Word, hosted by Solomon Jones. Good morning. Right now on Word Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD.
Good morning. This is Solomon Jones on 900 AM, 96.1 FM, WURD. I want to welcome you back to Wake Up with Word. And, of course, we're talking with Jay McCalla about the political foolery going on in Washington, D.C. and beyond. So, Jay, Donald Trump is encouraging his North Carolina supporters to vote absentee even as he continued to attack vote by mail. But absentee ballots are mail-in ballots, Jay. Am I missing something?
I don't think you're missing a thing. That little slime monster is so crazy. He's so crazy, he thinks we're crazy. He actually thinks we don't hear him talking out of all 4 corners of his mouth. And that's why he stays in so much trouble. He thinks he's smarter than he is. He also thinks folks are listening to him when the fact is most people aren't. He's just noise to most people. The only people he influences are freaks and geeks. He won't lose the freaks and geeks, even if he shot somebody on Fifth Avenue. He predicted that, and he's been right so far. Trump is telling his supporters to vote by mail in North Carolina, but doesn't he remember he just completely sabotaged the United States mail system? Trump has to set up so many tricks and traps that he's stepping into them himself. But Trump's campaign theory seems solid enough. He knows normal people don't want to risk the virus by waiting in line for hours. So he breaks the postal system so we have little choice. He's banking on his national brigade of toothless, beer-bellied racists to just be stupid enough to stand in line, no masks, begging for a chance to re-elect the American Hitler. Solomon, he wiggles, he shakes, he crawls on his belly like a reptile. That's our president, he lies, and he knows that we hear him lying, but he thinks we believe him anyway.
Yeah, it's you know, I feel like there needs to be like a healing for America, because I think that at this point he's just opened so many wounds, and now he's trying to undermine the election, and by trying to convince people that mail-in ballots and absentee ballots are two different things, because he votes by absentee ballot, which is a mail-in ballot, right? And so it's almost the same thing that the Republicans were able to do brilliantly, I think, with the Affordable Care Act, right? They started calling it Obamacare. And when you ask people about whether or not they like the Affordable Care Act, people are like, oh, man, we love the Affordable Care Act. It's insurance for everybody, and people can go to the doctor. And then if you ask them, did they like Obamacare, they say, oh, no, we hate Obamacare. Obama's trying to, you know, kill us all. He's a Muslim. He's a terrorist. He's this, he's that. He's Kenyan. You know, all of this stuff. And they're now doing the same thing with mail-in ballots and absentee ballots. Just like Obamacare and the Affordable Care Act is the same thing, absentee ballots and mail-in ballots are the same thing. You send both of them in by mail. It's amazing that he's doing this. And the scary thing, Jay, based on that whole Obamacare thing, he might be able to get away with it. A lot of people are going to believe it's two different things.
I think that's a really good opportunity for him, because he double talks. He is a salesperson who starts talking and doesn't stop talking until you shoot him. And so his number one goal now, and he's got this double talk routine down pat, is to confuse the voters. Now, what kind of leader, what kind of decent human being wants to confuse people? Only a liar, only a thief wants to confuse people, to stir confusion so people won't know what they're doing. They won't be precisely clear on the most important day of our year, when we choose a new president of our 4-year cycle. So it's just low down and dirty to try to confuse our minds. That's what, that's North Korean stuff. That's Chinese government stuff. And Trump just doesn't understand democracy or respect for American citizens.
Yeah, what I'm hoping is this. I'm hoping that there is a counter message, because, somebody put out a lie. A lot of times what I'm learning, Jay, is that people love to believe lies. Like, they like to believe crazy stuff, like the QAnon thing. That's why people believe that. People like to believe crazy stuff because it makes them feel like they know more than you do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Guess what I heard?
Exactly.
I know something you don't know. Let me tell you the inside story. Let me tell you the crazy man story.
Yeah. And so that's kind of what we're getting with what's going on with the mail-in ballot thing. And he's got his postmaster general in place, tearing up the post office, and now he's undermining mail-in ballots. And I think, bottom line, Jay, he knows that if more people vote, he loses.
Yep. Yeah. If the will of the people is expressed, he's out of here. And so we're going to see what we're seeing, and that is the destruction from the inside of the postal system. And then on Election Day, we're going to see hundreds of polling places shut down tight in the American South. They want to leave us. Trump wants to leave us. Republicans want to leave us, black folks, with nowhere to go, no way to express our franchise as Americans. Close the polls, kick them off the voter rolls, and then screw up the postal system so that it takes 2 and 3 and 4 weeks to get a letter anywhere in this country. And you know what? We got Trump for 4 more years. He's tearing up this election like it's so many pieces of confetti and throwing it in the air and daring us to reassemble the pieces and kick him out.
Yeah, it's a scary thing to watch. And one of the things that's always been political, though, Jay, is schools. New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy announced that schools that aren't equipped to mitigate the spread of the virus will start the school year entirely online. It's a reversal from the state's previous guidance that at least some classes be held in person with an option for students to take them remotely. Jay, has this virus made schools super political again?
Once again, yeah. Look, I've always thought that politicians were the wrong people to make decisions about this virus. Politicians are people pleasers, and that's very bad when something serious has to be decided or enforced. Governor Murphy, drug his feet until school is just a few days from opening before he canceled in-person classes. The facts have been the same for months. The virus circulates through the ventilation system and goes throughout the entire building. The governor knew that months ago. There's no way to socially distance in the hallways, and they're jammed every 45 minutes when classes change. The governor knew that months ago. Governor Murphy isn't a crazy Trumpster who refuses to wear a mask, but he's desperately interested in getting reelected, like any politician. So for Murphy, this is a matter of survival politics. He's afraid to make a mistake that voters are going to remember and hold against him. So he waits for the last minute to make decisions. He hedges into them slightly. Well, we're going to have a hybrid. We're going to have a little of this, a little of that, trying to make everybody happy, trying to be political, and making nobody happy. Make a decision that people can believe and rely on and plan their lives around. That's all we want in government. Solomon, I think Governor Murphy's life will be easier if he just played it straight. But this is politics, and playing it straight ain't what they do.
Yeah, I think that, it's interesting to watch. It's interesting to watch people kind of flip-flopping and trying to understand what they're going to do around this virus. Bottom line is this, man, it's dangerous. And if you can do school online, that's how you need to do it right now. I don't think it's even remotely a hard decision to make. I think you got to decide that, you're going to do school online. And you're right about politicians being people pleasers. People are tired of being locked down. People are tired of not having freedom to move around, do what they want to do. And so politicians want to make it easier for them to just kind of do what they want. But that's the reason why the virus is spreading so much in America. I think that, you have to have just the gumption to be able to say, no, we're going to do it this way. Bottom line. And I'm glad to see Governor Murphy come to that decision. But the flip-flopping, I think, is a result of, people not wanting to do what they need to do in order to maintain safety during this virus, and politicians trying to accommodate them.
And Solomon, you're a parent. You know that you have to be consistent. You have to have the same rule today, and you have to be fair, and you have to give time for change. You have to realize you're dealing with other human beings if you're going to be a good parent. And that's a governor. You've got to give people time to adapt, time to change. Don't tell me on August 13th that schools ain't open. You're doing it to me, but we had rather you given us 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks notice, because you knew and you could have made a decision 6 weeks earlier. You just didn't have the gumption.
Yep. And so, I think that you see that across many other states as well. So you got New Jersey, you got, Pennsylvania and many other states. I just heard about a Little League baseball team in Pennsylvania. They recommended stopping sports for now. The Little League is like, nah, we're going to do it anyway. And I'm just amazed that in your defiance, right, to the government saying, you know what, we need to stop this for your health, you're going to put your kids on the line and let your kids run out there and talk about they playing Little League baseball. Look, it's running through baseball teams in Major League Baseball. You're going to put your kids out there for that too? Like, it's amazing, Jay. It's amazing.
The fundamental question is, do you love them? When pastors want to hold church services in person in the church building, ask yourself, do you really love these people? When you send your little boy out to play Little League Baseball, not socially distancing, running those bases, do you really love him? Why aren't you protecting the people that you're supposed to be loving? That's my question. Your children, your parishioners, why aren't you protecting them?
Yeah, it is amazing, Jay. So we're going to be watching it, and I think that the thing with the schools though points to that larger problem. To your point about churches, about other organizations that just feel like, oh, we're going to open up anyway, and it's going to be okay, and it's like, no, it's not. It's not. 160,000 plus deaths says it's not just going to be okay. Like millions of people infected says it's not going to just be okay. When you gather inside in a place with a whole lot of people, that's how this thing is spreading, man. And for the fact that we don't know that on a large scale, that everybody doesn't just know and accept that on a large scale, to me, it points to Donald Trump with these mixed messages.
Yeah, and we as Christians know that we're told to not forsake the assembly. But some people take that in a crazy way. That means we're going to keep having church. No. The smart, enlightened, spirit-filled Christian church has found a way to assemble every Sunday to have prayer meeting and Bible study regularly over Zoom, over the internet. We're still worshiping. We're just not risking our lives because God gave us common sense.
Yeah. So Jay, I want to thank you so much as always, man, for just breaking this thing down for us. That's Jay McCalla. Jay McCalla, of course, is a veteran political consultant. His work has been published in the Philadelphia Inquirer, Philadelphia Magazine, Chestnut Hill Local. He brings deep knowledge to politics and does so from an African American perspective. Jay, thanks so much.
Always an honor.
All right. We're going to go to break. On the other side, we're going to continue the show. I'm Solomon Jones. We'll be right back.
Weather and traffic to keep you informed for your drive home.
In the happy hour
With Sincerely Sarita.
Monday through Thursday, 4 till 7 p.m.
Right here
on Word Radio, 96.1 FM
and 900 AM WURD.
He was the heart of your family, and he taught you our history. He helped you fix your first flat. He was the best backyard DJ around. And every time he'd tell a story, he'd own the room. But now more than ever, he may feel alone. Today, older adults and their loved ones are struggling to connect, in a time when connection has never been more important. But there is something we can do. Embrace our older loved ones through StoryCorps Connect. With StoryCorps Connect, you can honor seniors remotely with an interview about their life. Every interview will be archived at the Library of Congress, becoming part of American history, so that years from now, future generations can listen in.
All right, Grandpa, what's one piece of advice you have for me?
Just 3 words, sweetheart. Live with courage. The man that had the best stories still has plenty of stories to tell. So connect virtually and share the conversation of a lifetime at StoryCorpsConnect.org/AARP. Connect, honor, share. StoryCorps Connect. A message from AARP, StoryCorps, and the Ad Council.
What's up, everyone? I know you know the word, no, not the station, but this word, J-O-B, that is, and our friends at Amoroso's Baking Company are hiring right now. Amoroso's has been baking the delicious bread in our community for over 100 years, and they want you to join their team today. The old and the young love Amoroso's, and they are hiring right now. Check it out. They offer fair pay and provide health, dental, and prescription plans after 90 days employment. Call 856-754-0355 or visit amorososbaking.com for details.
Show some love for your favorite neighborhood with Word Radio. It's the Summer of Freedom Virtual Neighborhood Love Tour. Mondays and Thursdays now through August 20th from 1 p.m. till 2:30 p.m. Shining a light on Philadelphia's neighborhoods with a focus on neighborhood history, Philadelphia's freedom fighters, and community resources that are helping to shape the city's future. Mondays with the rapping professor Dr. Aaron Smith and Thursdays with Andrea Lawful Sanders. It's the Summer of Freedom Virtual Neighborhood Love Tour. Mondays and Thursdays 1 p.m. till 2:30 p.m. exclusively on Word Radio. 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD. Streaming live on wordradio.com, the Word Radio app, and on Word TV via YouTube and Facebook. The Summer of Freedom Virtual Neighborhood Love Tour is sponsored by Wells Fargo and Pico.
Home of the Happy Hour. With Sincerely Sarita. This is Word Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD Philadelphia.
Streaming live at wordradio.com and on the Word Radio app.
kissing you, baby. Yeah, I'd rather be kissing you, baby. Yeah, I don't need you. Just give you to me. I'd rather be kissing you, baby. Yeah, just call me more a little. Your voice, it makes me feel better. Why you even trying to ignore me?
Good morning. This is Solomon Jones on 900 AM, 96.1 FM, WURD. I want to welcome you back to Wake Up with Word. We're taking your calls at 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. That is the number that you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD Radio. Lynn from Darby is on line 1. Go ahead, Lynn.
Good morning, Solomon.
Good morning.
Bird family.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I called to comment on the coronavirus. I just can't believe with our numbers going up. I just heard on the news where I forgot what the state, but they had so many deaths in one night in the thousands. And I just can't believe people can't adhere to wear a mask, stay socially distanced. I mean, if I had a school-age child now, I would not send them back to school. On TV, when you saw all those students in Georgia, they were packed like sardines.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And I happened to see most of the students were white. And they suspended, and then they took it back, the suspension of the students that took videos of it. But they had cases, because they had to close the school down, they had cases where the students did catch the virus. So I say, if we just got the Yankees and we can't stay quarantined or wear masks, let them people go out and do what they want. Remember when we were coming out of quarantine to get into the green or yellow zone and the people were fussing there? Let them sign a statement saying, this is what I'm going to do. Because they're putting our essential workers at the hospital in trouble for their lives, and treating them. So I said, sign a statement, let them go. If they don't love life like I do and don't want to follow the rules, I've had it with them. Let them go out and do that. And I thought Trump gave the governors and the mayors the right to make that call. And now he's bull-guarding, send the kids to school, send the kids to school. Solomon, we got to get rid of this guy. People, y'all better get registered, vote. We got to get him out, do the census, and have a blessed day, y'all.
All right. I want to thank you so much for your call this morning on WURD Radio. We appreciate you and thank you so much. I want to hear from you. Give us a call, 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. That is the number that you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD Radio. And, of course, you can also weigh in on Facebook. I know people are doing that this morning, Kuwesa. And one of the things that we've been talking about, and I'm kind of baffled by it, you got people actually out here talking about Kamala Harris ain't black. I'm trying to figure that out. I'm trying to figure out what in the world is wrong with y'all. Like, for real, like, her father's black. Her daddy black. You know what I mean? That's what Melanie said yesterday. Melanie's absolutely right. Her father's black. She's black. She went to Howard, right? She went to, she pledged AKA, like, I don't know what more you want from the woman. Her skin is black, her skin is brown. What more do you want from her? She black. Like, what do you want her to do? I want to hear from you, man, because I'm baffled by that, Kuwesa. And so I know that some people are weighing in about that and about her nomination as vice president as well, but also the violence that's going on in the city of Philadelphia. We got a lot of organizations that they are there. They're getting money. They have, processes, but they ain't helping nobody. And, I'm frustrated by that. And so we got to figure out how we actually going to help some people. Give us a call, 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. That is the number that you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD Radio. Let us know where you are on these various things we're talking about on this morning's show. So, Kawesa, what are they saying this morning on Facebook? Of course, you can weigh in at forward, FORWURD.
Got a couple folks commenting here. Geraldine Mayfield, yes, God is giving us a chance to get rid of 45. Walter Davis is saying, I agree, Jay. My current governor, Murphy, simply knows how to sugarcoat. Yeah, he's my governor, too. Sadly. Eric DeLoach, the problem with New Jersey is that the shores and the casinos are their revenue. How can they run and function without it? So Governor Murphy is caught between a rock and a hard place. That is something that is true with New Jersey, unfortunately. Walter Davis is also saying, and the main reason why those 160,000 plus died in America of COVID was because Trump and his cronies chose to ignore it, deny it, mock it. The price of ignorance is sadly a hefty one. So that's another comment that was made as well. I know that Lynn was on, so I won't read her comment. And then Gail Robinson is saying, talking about Kamala, she's saying that, she acknowledged all her ancestry. We have a choice, vote for it now and the future, or vote to end our freedom at a more rapid pace. He is destroying everything in his wake, except there will be no coming back from that. I did see another comment that was kind of long, so I won't read all of it if I can try to grab it. But, oh, wow. So Doris Clark made a very interesting comment, and I really feel that there are a lot of folks who feel this way, and I really kind of want to know why. She said, I hate Kamala Harris, but I will still vote for Biden and against Trump. I, as a black woman, have nothing in common with Kamala except we are both women. She did not win one state in the primaries and had the audacity to try and play the racist game against Biden. All through the primaries, she would say anything to get a vote. Do not tell me she did not say she will not do anything just for black people. She kept saying all people hate her. No, and then she said, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Hate is such a strong word.
It is a strong word.
It really is.
And how do you hate somebody you don't even know?
Yeah.
I think that it's an interesting comment, and I think it's something that we have to discuss, and we got to figure out why. Why are we at this point where politics is so polarizing, and even within our own community, that you have black folks who can't support other black folks. And certainly, you can question her record as a prosecutor, question the fact that she did not want to make cameras mandatory, question if body cams mandatory for police, question some of the decisions that she made as a prosecutor. You can question Joe Biden on the crime bill. But the interesting thing is that one of the things in the crime bill is the consent decrees that they used in order to force certain police departments to make change. So I think that there are pluses and minuses with everybody. There are pluses and minuses with me, and with you and with everybody else. But I think that when we get to the point where we talk about we hate people we don't even know, maybe it's time to just take a step back and say, maybe I need to reassess that. But I want to know what you think. I really do. So give me a call, 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. Let's go to Derek from North Philly on line 2. Go ahead, Derek.
Good morning, Solomon. Love, peace, blessings, and prosperity.
Same to you, brother.
Thank you, Solomon. Solomon, you like to know what I think. I think that the churches should have a better protocol. The Zoom thing is a great thing, but some people want to go to church. And I think the churches should have some type of protocol at this point in the COVID-19 season to know what they can do and what they can't do versus not doing anything. People want to go to church.
Okay, so you think the churches should open up?
I think the same people who are going to churches or who are not going to churches, these are the same people you see at the supermarkets, you see them at the auto zones. You're seeing people everywhere because there are protocols that are in place that are known to work.
Okay. So you're saying they should open church with social distance?
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay.
Because
fair enough.
So people need to go to church.
Mm-hmm.
Solomon, the supermarket is where people go to feed their physical bodies to keep it nourished.
Mm-hmm.
To me, the church is the supermarket for the spiritual body.
I got you.
Understand initially there's certain things needed to take place, and I appreciate Zoom too. But please open the churches. Some people need that experience to continue to energize their faith, especially if they see other things working.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Well, fair enough. I think that, if you put some protocols in place and have some social distance and people wear masks, certainly I think that's something that should be considered. And so, but my problem is you going in there and everybody sitting next to each other, piled up on each other. You got the choir singing, ain't nobody got no masks on. Like at some point that becomes unwise, right? And the Bible tells us we should be wise. Now, if you're going to do it with social distance and everybody's 6 feet apart, you sanitizing and cleaning in between services or whatever, I think certainly that is something that should be considered. But you can't have it like you was having it before. You just can't, especially because of the fact that, especially in black churches, a lot of the people in there are old. So you got seniors in there who are vulnerable, who have health problems, people who have other underlying problems. You can't have that, man. But if you're going to do it safely with protocols in place, I think it can be done. So, Derek, I want to thank you so much for your call, and I appreciate your perspective. Let's go to Brother Joe from Germantown on line 3. Go ahead, Brother Joe.
Hey, Brother Simon Craig Quason, how y'all doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing fine. All praises be to Allah. Brother Simon, I'm talking about the coronavirus. Thanks to the Black Doctors Consortium, I was able to get the test a while back, and my test came back negative.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Solomon, I'm not naive enough. Of course, I know many people could have died from this virus, but I don't believe that every death that the person that died is for coronavirus. I think everybody kind of made that the popular notion that every time it's a death, it's coronavirus. And some people may have died from the flu or some other ailment.
So are you saying are you saying that they're lying about the numbers?
I think in some cases they are, Sal.
Why do you think that, Joe?
Because this country creates mass hysteria. It benefits a lot of people financially when you have this kind of mass hysteria.
Do you think? Wait a minute. I want to ask you a question. So, do you think that other countries are lying about the numbers too? Because this is a worldwide. This is not just the United States. This is a pandemic, which means that it's worldwide. So, do you think that other countries are lying about the numbers too?
Possibly. Because you got unrighteous rulers in every country. So, yes, that's possible, Solomon.
I don't think. I don't. Well, I think here's what I do think, though. I think China might have downgraded the number of people who actually died from this thing. I think they probably gave a number that was a lot less than the number of people who actually died in their country. And they can do that because they're an authoritarian regime. They control all the information. In America, it's kind of harder to tell lies like that about numbers because you have various entities and organizations that are looking at the numbers. For example, Johns Hopkins is looking at the numbers independent from the government. Then you have the government looking at the numbers. Then you have individual hospitals looking at the numbers. So in order for everybody to be lying about these numbers, all of the hospitals in America would have to be in cahoots. All of the coroners, there's a coroner in every county in the country, Joe. So all of the coroners would have to be in cahoots too. It just would, it would have to be a conspiracy bigger than anything that you ever seen for them to lie about these numbers like that.
Well, all I know is that if you look into the record of Dr. Fauci, he has a very unscrupulous record dating back years ago. You look at some of his backs, him and Dr. Brooks. I don't trust neither one of them because, like I said, both of them. You go on and look on their record, you'll see some very unscrupulous things about both of them. Now, it's like, for example, some with the mask. I've heard so many different things about if you don't have that. I think it's the N95 mask. You waste your time wearing the other mask. Now, I will say this: I do wear the mask, but see what I do because I realize that when you go in the stores, banks, I have a mask. But now when I'm walking the street, I have my mask on, but I don't have it over my nose. I just walk with it. Now when I'm talking to if I'm running you out in the street, Simon, I say, hey, this is Brother Simon, I'll put it up over my nose and talk to you. But I don't walk around in the street with the mask on. I just don't because I just think that it's just too much hysteria with this thing. And I think that And I think that hopefully one day some of the truth about this virus is going to come out, where it came from, what's behind. And this is why I miss a brother like Dick Gregory right now. So I would know what Dick Gregory would be saying about this coronavirus.
Yeah, well, Dick Gregory said, and may he rest in peace, but Dick Gregory said a lot of stuff that wasn't true. Got to be honest. You know what I mean? A lot of stuff that played on people's desire to believe something other than what was really going on. And you know, may he rest in peace, and you know, all the respect in the world, but you know what I mean? That's just real. I'm glad to hear that even though you are skeptical, and there's nothing wrong with being skeptical. You could think what you want to think. I'm glad to hear that even though you're skeptical, you still wear the mask. You know what I mean? And hopefully wash your hands a lot. And hopefully use hand sanitizer when you can't wash your hands, because, you know, the bottom line is that those things work. And, you know, it's been a blessing for me that since this virus has come into play, I haven't been sick because I'm washing my hands more than I ever have. I'm wearing the mask. I'm sanitizing my hands, you know, and I'm doing what I have to do in order to maintain my health and the health of my family. The bottom line is this: don't matter where it came from, is here. So if it came from, you know, some people believe it came from 5G, which is, in my view, ridiculous, right? It's a biological virus. It doesn't come from, you know, air radio waves. That's, in my view, that's ridiculous. But you believe what you want. You know, even if it was made in a lab, or even if it's just a natural mutation of a virus that was already in place, right? Does that mean you still don't wash your hands? Does it mean you still don't put on a mask? Does it mean that you still don't sanitize? Does it mean that you still don't try to eat healthy to maintain your immune system? Does it mean that you don't get enough sleep so that your immune system remains strong? Like, what, you know, no matter where it was made at, or no matter where it came from, there's still some things that you can do in order to maintain your health. Does it mean that because you're skeptical, you don't do those things? So, you know, I think that we can all be skeptical, but I still think we need to do what we need to do to maintain our health. I'm going to go back to the phone lines. Linda from Wisconsin is on line one. Go ahead, Linda.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, it is getting rough here in Wisconsin. Another time I may have to bring you up to date on that. I was calling to say something about Senator Harris, but I'm glad the man who called just now is wearing a mask. We just had a group of 20-somethings all working in one place, believing what they wanted to believe.
Yeah.
Everybody got sick. Closed down the business. People's symptoms went away. Everybody went back to work. And then the employer, because we are being run by supervillains right now, decided that they would take 70% of everybody's wages. I mean, it just keeps going. But I'm glad that, you know, people just have to do what you're doing. But, you know, brother, please cover your nose and your mouth so we can continue to hear you on the radio. Listen, I just wanted to say a couple of things about Senator Harris, because we do have supervillains who want to hurt us, and they're in charge. Stop picking at her family and her career and what she said and what she didn't say. Stop it. Stop it. Senator Harris is going to the White House. Biden did not pick her. She was picked by people who will make that thing happen. She's going.
See, I don't believe that. I believe that Biden did pick her, and certainly he had some folks advising him. But the last decision, the final decision, is his, and so I don't want people to believe
he says yes.
I don't want people to
yes.
Wait a minute. I don't want people to believe that he didn't have anything to do with his decision, because what that does is that it undermines him as a leader and makes it seem like he's a puppet for other people, and that's the last thing people need to believe when it's time to vote.
No, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. I think that we all like to think that the presidency is like it was in the 60s, but it's very different now, and so is the White House. And I think Biden knows how to do it, and he did have the last word. But people have to quit playing. And what I wanted to say, anyhow, is that there's only two things about this woman that matters to me, and hopefully we can just keep saying that. People will go with it. She can do two things. She can handle herself, and she can handle this job. And everything else is just something to do, something to talk about. You know, I'm surprised that they haven't complained about her clothes or something. We have to stop.
Oh, that's
that.
coming.
I agree.
That's coming.
Maybe not.
Yeah, I think they will. They complained about Hillary Clinton's pantsuits. They made fun of that. You know what I mean? So they're going to complain about everything possible about Kamala Harris. And Linda, I want to thank you for your call as always, and we appreciate it. But we got to go to break. On the other side, we're going to continue the show. I'm Solomon Jones. We'll be right back.
Check out the Source lineup on Word Radio. Mondays, get ready for the rapping professor, Dr. Aaron Smith. On Tuesdays, it's Andrea Lawful Sanders. Then on Wednesdays, it's the Black Women's Leadership Council. On Thursdays, it's a second helping of Andrea Lawful Sanders. And on Fridays, it's Tiffany Bacon. Don't miss the Source. Monday through Thursday, 1 p.m. till 4 p.m. and Fridays, 10 a.m. till 1 p.m. Exclusively on Word Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD. Streaming live on wordradio.com and on the Word Radio app.
In Pennsylvania, everyone counts, and everyone needs to participate in the census. Our population count determines our voice in government and how much federal funding our communities receive for health care, food assistance, education, transportation, housing, and more. So every infant and child, every foreign and U.S. citizen, everyone matters. For a stronger future, we all need to count. To learn more, go to pa.gov/census.
Listen live at wordradio.com.
Keystone First VIP Choice HMO SNP Dual Eligible Special Needs Plan has a 4 out of 5 star rating and is one of the highest rated Medicare plans in the region. Keystone First VIP Choice and you are better together. If you live in Philadelphia, Bucks, Chester, Montgomery, or Delaware County, and you have both Medicare and Medicaid, choose the Medicare plan that is working to help you get better care. Enjoy extra benefits at no cost to you with Keystone First VIP Choice. You get benefits like dental, vision, and transportation to and from your medical appointments. They also cover a fitness membership to a gym of your choice. $150 toward over-the-counter pharmacy items. There's no copay for doctor's visits. They offer a large provider network, a great prescription plan, dental coverage, and even eyeglasses. Plus, you don't have to wait for open enrollment. You can change your coverage every quarter. Keystone First VIP Choice. The name you trust, the service you deserve. Call Keystone First VIP Choice today at 1-877-686-1760 or visit KeystoneFirstVIPChoice.com.
Back by popular demand.
It's Wake Up with Word, hosted by Solomon Jones. Right now on Word Radio,
96.1 FM
and 900 AM WURD.
Good morning. This is Solomon Jones on 900 AM, 96.1 FM, WURD. Trying to do a whole lot this morning, man. And you know I love all of y'all, my Man Up PHL people. I love all of y'all. I really do. We all bring different things to the table. And I think that as we move forward, we got to make sure that we are moving and getting some stuff done. And so as we make adjustments and as we move and as we change, we doing it all in love because the bottom line is we got to help these brothers, man. There's people getting shot every single day in our city. We just behind Chicago in terms of the shootings that are going on. And so we have to be flexible, make some adjustments along the way. But I'm excited that later on this afternoon, we're going to be meeting in North Philly to talk to some potential mentees about helping them to move forward with employment and some other things as well. And so I'm excited about moving because I think this pandemic has done a whole lot around all of the things that we do, how we move, how we shop, how we eat, how we worship, how we serve. Like all of those things have been affected by this. But at the end of the day, we have to move and do in order to affect some lives. And so that's what all of this is about. I want to hear from you. Give me a call, 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. Kawesa, gun violence in Philadelphia is a national story now. Like, they were quoting the police commissioner on CNN about Philadelphia being second in terms of the rate of homicides that are going on in the country. We're just behind Chicago. Like, it is absolutely insane. And so we are in an emergency, whether we know it or not, whether it feels like it or not, whether we recognize it or not. We're in an emergency around this gun violence issue. And I know as you look at it, Kawesa, I mean, what do you see?
I mean, for me, what I see, and really I think about the numbers, the fact that Philadelphia is a smaller city than, Chicago, New York, a lot of these, much larger cities, and then we're right behind Chicago. Like, for me, that's devastating. It really, really is, because, you have so many folks who are out, and we have this pandemic going on. People don't have jobs. There's a lot of hopelessness that is running rampant through our communities. And, when you couple that with the pandemic and just everything that's going on, people are hurting. They're angry, and they don't know where to turn. There's no services to help them out. And we were talking about this even the other day, but you almost, you can't be mad when there is no outlet for people. You're not surviving off of, $10 an hour. You're not. You can't raise a family off of that. You just can't. And so what do people do? They're out here and they're, shooting each other up, killing each other. Babies are involved now, getting killed. Like, it's crazy to me. And so, I don't. And I was about to actually say I don't know the answer. I know the answer. The answer really is that we need to make sure that we have services for our people, so that way we can have better jobs, better health care, better education. But we don't have those. To me, it's simple. It's so easy, right? To me, it is. And you have people who are leading this city who can't seem to get it through their skulls that we have this major problem. That's an epidemic in and of itself.
That's what I'm saying. This is crazy. And so what it means is that we have to be moving, and we have to be moving expeditiously. We have to be moving quickly. We have to be moving with a sense of urgency, because our kids are getting shot. Our kids are dying. And so, for me, it really is a one life at a time approach. I don't think there's any one size fits all. I don't think there's any one program that is, the answer. I don't think there's any one person who is the person. I think that it's going to take all of us, and all of us bringing to the table what we can in order to bring about change, in order to bring about some success, in order to save some lives in our community. And so that's where I am. And I think that's where all of us need to be. What can I do to help somebody to avoid this violence that is killing us? I want to hear from you. Give me a call, 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. I'm going to go back to the phone lines and talk to Gloria from Sharon Hill on line 4. Go ahead, Gloria.
Good morning, Solomon.
Good morning.
From the Word family. How are you, Solomon?
Good. How are you?
How's your family? I'm okay. I'm back to work tomorrow. I'm tired. I've got to go to work today.
Okay.
But anyhow, this is too much going out here. Kamala Harris is black. Okay,
Period.
Your father is Jamaican, the mother's Indian. They're black. Hey, like somebody said earlier, police officers saying what? They're black, right?
Yep.
Thank you. You know what? Donald Trump is scared to death. The man is scared. Kamala Harris is going to wipe him. He really is. I said, oh, Lord. Anyway, so another thing. What's going on with these shootings? Something's wrong with this.
Yeah.
It's too many, Solomon.
Yeah.
Like we said a few minutes ago, she's right on point. They you know what? I think it's something that's done intentionally so to hold people back. I really do believe that. I believe it, Solomon. I really do.
You believe what's done intentionally to hold people back?
You know, as far as, you know, that putting their services out there for them, they can be angry, frustrated, you know, during this pandemic. People need help.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying, you know. It's so sad. It really is. So sad.
I hear you.
Oh,
I want to thank you so much for
have
your
a
call
good
this
day.
morning on WRD. You have a good day, too. Let's go back to the phone lines. Talk to Don from West Philly on line 3. Go ahead, Don.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, brother.
Great. As if you do your research, when in the 30s, 40s, and 50s, when it was rapid gang violence in the Irish, Italian, Jewish community, they implemented programs. You had reform schools. They didn't allow the kids that had problems and to continually go to public school system. They had reform schools. They put them in. They had counseling. They created Boy Scouts. They created PAL. They created truancy officers. Back in the 50s, if your child didn't come to school, the truancy officer would call on your home. And they would send somebody out there. So that's how they know how to solve the problem in the black community because they had it in their community. And and the other thing I want to add, you got the power of messaging. And what you're hearing, like you talked about yesterday, we got our community listening to negative rap music, and once messaging affects your belief system dictates your behavior. Half the stuff, 3/4 of the stuff that Trump is saying and doing, a section of the white community is not even hearing about it. But they listen to Fox News. They have no clue of what Trump is doing. And I think we need to build up this radio station. I think y'all need to have a donation drive. You got millions of people out here, or hundreds of thousands of people here, millionaires would love to donate to this radio station. Y'all need to have a fund drive one month, because a lot of these millionaires will give money to this station. But they got to give it for tax write-offs. Presently, being a couple of my buddies, we are sending in donations to your station. And I believe y'all should have a fundraiser, and I believe that we need to have our own black media as far as the station, our own black CNN, so we actually know what's going on. And I'm going to leave it with this, to show your power of messaging. I'm a Christian. I believe Christ lived and died for us, but we got to get this white-faced Jesus out of our churches, man. We know Christ was not white. We know all the disciples were not white. We know all the disciples didn't have names like Paul, John. They was English names. And we know they had Jewish names. That's the power of messaging. And I know Christ lives, and Christ is trying to tell us we have to change, and I think we need to start there too. Thank you.
Don, I want to thank you for your call this morning on WURD. I don't want to get into race and religion, but I hear you, and I it doesn't make sense that someone born in the Middle East, right? And I don't even like to say Middle East, but born in Israel during that time would have blonde hair and blue eyes, right? That don't even make sense. So I hear you, and I want to thank you so much for your call this morning on WURD Radio. And you can give me a call, 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. That is the number that you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WRD. Miss T from Overbrook is on line 1. Go ahead, Miss T.
Hey, Solomon.
Hey.
Poor Solomon. Listen, when I called his voice answered, I said, "You poor child." Listen, I'm there with you, okay?
Yeah,
I'm there. Yeah. Number one, I saw the movie Harriet. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I wish we could go back to that. I see why.
Why you want to go back? I ain't trying to go back.
No.
Wait a minute.
No, I'm talking
what?
about her method. I'm talking about her method.
Oh, her methods. All right. Okay.
Her method.
Okay, I'm going to shoot you if you don't run. Okay, I got you.
Listen,
all right.
I know why she did what she did now. I'm living it. I'm living it.
Uh-huh.
Number two, there's a host on there in your radio station, smart as a whip, but you know what they say about genius crossing the line to wackiness. so it's always talking about Biden and making people really putting it out there like not voting. I listen to them, then I cut them off.
Well, here's what I will say, and I support all of my colleagues.
Yeah, I know.
And we sometimes agree to disagree, but certainly
Yes.
The black community has many different points of view, and so we support our colleagues. Go ahead.
There again, that's why I would go back to Harriet. Okay, that's all I'm saying about that.
Okay.
So, and one more thing. I wish, I know men and women, and especially in our community, handle things different.
Yes.
But men tend to shut down, and they tend to go to violence when it's too overwhelming. Women, they'll talk to their girlfriends. They'll have, maybe they'll go ahead and get go get some therapy or something like that. I wish we could be on one accord. I think that would help our community, because all these outside forces, just like with this virus, you got to stay, like your immune system has to be good. You got to be taking your vitamins, eating right, and all that. And I think that philosophy should be in our community. We got to do the right thing first before we could deal with all these outside forces. They ain't changing for us. We got to come correct. So
all right. I want to thank you so much for your call this morning on WRD. Patrick from New Jersey is on line 2. Go ahead, Patrick.
Hey, Solomon. How you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I got most of my book is done.
Okay.
I'm finishing up. I'm going to be a published author very soon, and
That's
all
great.
about the MLK story in New Jersey.
Congratulations.
Yeah, and the state of New Jersey really. I mean, I have all the receipts to make them just look like fools. I mean, talking about a group of people in the DEP that literally conspired to degrade the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King. It makes no sense. But I wanted to say something. I had an idea. We're a bit away from November, and I think that during November you're either going to see some sort of, more protest or whatever it is, but it's going to disrupt people being able to go out and vote. And I think what we should do is there should be a plan created where maybe block to block there should be a runner where people can hand their votes in to the runner who runs them to the areas that votes can be counted. And the reason why I say this is because the mail system is going to be backlogged, and there's going to be issues with the mail system. So there should literally be like an Uber, that we create for Philadelphia voters. So if people want to get their vote in on time and want to do it as a collective, the ability is there. But to trust the mail, the U.S. mail right now, when Trump is in control of the mail, I think that's not going to work out too well for us.
Yeah, well, we got to work it out. We got to figure it out, man. But I think you're right. He's absolutely trying to undermine the mail, so people can't vote by mail. So I thank you, Patrick, for your call this morning. Let's go to Dennis from Lebanon on line 4. Go ahead, Dennis.
Hello. I hear a lot of talk on your program about religious people calling in, but I don't hear the love for mankind. And I think that's the problem with the crime in Philadelphia. You're missing the love.
You don't think we love people?
Yeah, because
how do you know? Who do you know who's calling? How do you know whether or not we love people? Oh, you're saying you don't hear the love on in some of the comments.
I am not going to go out and shoot somebody I love.
And so you're calling from Lebanon to say that we in Philadelphia don't love each other, and that's why we're shooting each other.
Not well, like I just said, I don't shoot people that I love.
Right. Nor do I.
And Scripture tells us to pray for our leaders. But what I hear from you, what I hear a lot on the radio there, that you're just saying hatred stuff towards our leaders.
Yeah, but you know what? Do you listen to the radio station down the dial and what they say about the other side of the political spectrum that they don't agree with?
I'm just saying what I hear.
No, do you listen?
Program.
No, but do you listen to the other? Do you listen to the other station down the dial which probably agrees more with your perspective, right? And the things that they say about the leaders on the left. Do you think that those things are loving things that they say?
I don't hear them say "God bless America" and everything at the end of their what they're spewing about. They, and saying about going to church and I'm a Christian and all that stuff, and then say that hatred stuff towards the
what
leader.
Hatred stuff?
Calling him a white devil and all all the Republicans are demons, and just stuff that I hear there. It's hatred.
So, do you think that slavery was grounded in hatred?
Slavery is hatred.
Do you think that racism is grounded in hatred?
Yes, I agree.
Okay, so
It's
I think
hatred.
that a lot of what you hear is probably a response to racism that we continue to deal with in our community, and I think that people understand when they are being oppressed, and I think that we do need love, and so. I appreciate you listening, but what I would love for you to do is to also hear some of the other things that are said. Like I talked a lot about love this morning. I talk about it every day because I ground what I do for my community in love. I'm surprised that you would call and talk about everything negative. Well, I'm not surprised, but you would call and talk about all of the negative things that you heard and yet not talk about love when we talked about that today. I'm sorry?
I'm talking about love. I love everybody.
No, you don't love everybody. You know what I mean? We try to love everybody. We certainly try to do that.
God's word tells us to love
and it does, and that's why on the other side of this break we're going to have somebody on to talk about how we love people through giving away food. Every week at my church, the Great Commission Church of Philadelphia. And so we appreciate your sermon this morning, but our sermon is really through our actions. And so we're going to talk with Keith Collins on the other side of this break about actually loving people through action. I'm Solomon Jones. We'll be right back.
Times are changing, and you deserve a system designed to grow your business. Meet Jaxcom, the new standard in business class voice. Only Jaxcom gives you the most features per dollar. Things like visual voicemail, call monitoring, advanced call queues, virtual assistant, plus a lot more. The stuff the other guys charge you extra for or don't have. Jaxcom proudly supports Black-owned businesses. Reference WORD for 20% off any plan. Jaxcom. Visit us online at jaxcom.net. That's JAXCOM.net.
Be heard. Want another way to join the conversation?
Follow us on social media
using the hashtag onWURD.
Be heard.
Stay connected to Word Radio.
Independent Black Media.
Join us for our annual Founders Day broadcast, a special on-air celebration of our founder, Walter P. Lomax Jr., MD. Thursday, August 20th from 6 a.m. till 9 p.m. For more information on our annual Founders Day celebration, stay tuned to Word Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD, wordradio.com, and follow us on social media, on Twitter and Instagram at onWURD, and on Facebook at forward. It's Wake Up with Word, hosted by Solomon Jones. Right now on Word Radio,
96.1 FM
and 900 AM WURD.
Good morning. This is Solomon Jones on 900 AM, 96.1 FM, WURD. I want to welcome you back to Wake Up with Word. We are, of course, taking your calls at 215-634-8065. But first, we need to talk to Keith Collins. He is a deacon at the Great Commission Church of Philadelphia, where I attend as well. And he's here to talk about the food distribution that the church does every Saturday. Keith, good morning.
Good morning, Solomon. How are you this morning?
I'm good, brother. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. Just thanking God that He continued to allow me to be a blessing and allow me to be able to connect with people, and that is just a great thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've been doing a food distribution at Great Commission for a little while now, and I had the opportunity to come down and participate in it last week. And I've been giving away food every week, but last week got a chance to see what's going on behind the scenes. It's a lot. There's a lot of food, and people need to know about that. Tell us about that food distribution and what it does.
Well, the food distribution, we started the food distribution knowing that there are so many people that are in need during this pandemic and even before that. And God had placed it on our hearts. So what happened was a company called Cisco contacted Disaster Relief and through Southern Baptist Resort, which contacted us, our church, Great Commission, the Church of Great Commission. Great Commission is a Ready Church, also in Southern Baptist. And so what happened was we started partnering with the Cisco, and they started giving us food to distribute to the people who are in the communities. And that partnership went on about 3 weeks and all, but they were Cisco stopped giving us the food because they had to start supplying the restaurants because they were about to start to open again. And so then we continued the food distribution. We started purchasing food ourselves through Great Commission and people who have donated. We started purchasing food from Restaurant Depot, and so that this ministry could continue on, because God told us that it wasn't time to shut the ministry down just because we wasn't receiving food from them. Mm-hmm. But then we have fed over 2,100 families in 17 weeks in all. Mm-hmm. We also deliver food to those who are the shut-ins or can't get out, and we deliver to their homes. We have delivered to over 1,000 families because when it's food distribution, people stand in line, and if you're have compromising illness or you are elderly and you just cannot stand in a line for long periods of time. So God placed on our hearts, why don't we start making deliveries? So we started the delivery, and it was and we just as we deliver the food. And I just want to say we're not just feeding people physical food, we're also feeding them spiritual food. Mm-hmm. Because we also we have church members that make call to the family to see how they're doing, mm-hmm. to pray with them and see what their concerns is. Because we're connecting. The food is the connection that is connecting them and us to God together. Mm-hmm. And so so we're we started feeding about 90 families, from the beginning. Yeah. But now we have them fed over 100. We feed 173 families every Saturday or more now. That number is just continuing to climb.
Yeah, Keith. Before you go on, I need to make sure people know how to get in contact with the church, where the church is, and how to get connected with that food that they might desperately need. So what is the address of the church, and how do people get the food?
The address of the church is 2043 East Burn, and that's in the West Oak Lane part of the city. And we have a register. You can register or you can walk up. But you can contact myself, Keith Collins, at 610-389-4083, or my wife, Laura Collins, which is 610-212-1610. And you contact us, and we can put you on the register, and all you have to do is just come by and give your name, or either just walk up, and we will have groceries for you to take home.
All right, and pray with you, and love you in the name of Jesus as well. Yeah. And so, Keith, I think that's critically important, man. One of my favorite, parts of the Bible is in the book of James, chapter 2. where it says this: suppose a man comes into, no, not that. Suppose a brother comes to you and says, that they're hungry, and you talk about be warmed and filled. What good is that? In the same way, faith without works is dead, and we have to. We have to put some works along with that faith, man, and really help people to actually be warmed and filled, and then they can hear the word when you give it to them. So, Keith, I appreciate the work that you and your wife are spearheading at our church. I think it's fabulous work, man. Give them a number one more time that they can call in order to get registered on that list to get that food.
And that number is 610-389-4083. It's Keith Collins, or either my wife Laura, which is 610-212-1610. And we just would love for you to come out because we know that God is doing an amazing thing with you. For man does not live by bread alone, but by every word of God.
All right, Keith, thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
All right.
We'll talk to you soon.
Solomon. Talk to you soon.
All right, man. And I'll see you Saturday. Now, that food distribution takes place Saturday between 12 and 2 at the Great Commission Church at 2043 East Byrne Avenue. That's 2043 East Byrne Avenue between 12 and 2 on Saturday. And so come out. I know I'm going to be there this Saturday, and we just got a lot of work to do, man. There's a lot of people that need help, a lot of people that need love in our community, practical love that actually serves their needs. And so shout out, of course, to our pastor, Pastor Larry L. Anderson Jr., our assistant pastor, Pastor Kyle Canty, and everyone at the Great Commission Church. I call it the little church that could. I want to hear from you, 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. Mike from North Philly is on line 3. Go ahead, Mike.
Good morning, Solomon. How you doing today?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Solomon, I got to call an audible.
Okay.
The last caller that called there.
Yeah.
Does that last caller, see that the Republicans are acting demonic and holding up a demagogue? People are, shooting each other because they are suffering from lack of opportunity, desperation, and post-traumatic slave disorder, in my opinion. And it amazes me that these people can call you up and call you out, and your call is out, but never call out the blatant racism and hate speech that they hear on Fox News, Sean Hannity, and Rush Limbaugh.
Yeah, I tried to ask him about that. He didn't want to talk about that.
Oh, yeah, I saw he was tap dancing all around. Another thing is, with Kamala Harris, why is her ethnicity even a question? We don't ask if that guy Irish, is he Jewish, is he this or that.
Yeah.
Why is that even an issue?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We need to get this guy out of this office because he's going to run this country into the ground. And, black people got to stop listening to entertainers trying to represent us. We don't need Kanye, who is so full of self-hate, and, he has an agenda. We are the only ones that go for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's like me liking his music has nothing to do with my real life and everyday problems.
Right.
And his album and his corny sneakers are not going to make my life any better. And he better watch out because his wife's going 302 him and take his music catalog. Thanks for taking my call.
All right, man. I want to thank you so. She was going to take that anyway. 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. Got to go back to the phone lines. Let's go to Miss Hattie from West Philly on line 4. Go ahead, Miss Hattie.
Hi, Solomon.
Hi.
I just want to say amen to that fellow just called. I just want to talk about, all the ladies that were, I thought were good in some aspect. Here I go. Good in some aspect, but Kamala and I liked Val Demings. In my eyes, they were are the two tough cookies that can take the vitriol from Trump and Pence and respond to them, with a dignified, straight-shooting beatdown. I mean, I think they are not going to, Pence and Trump are not going to be able to handle Kamala. And I think Biden and Kamala are forced, that's going to have to be reckoned with because they're good. And they can make a sentence and they can make a paragraph.
Yep.
And I tell you, they can beat the other two down because they are worthless. And Solomon, my only concern and focus is getting that chronic habitual liar and wannabe dictator and his cronies out of office, including Mitch McConnell. As far as the gun violence, excuse me, Solomon, as far as the gun violence, I yet to be able to wrap my brain on around the mentality of these individuals who are shooting babies and just other human beings without any kind of compunction or guilt or feeling. And I just can't wrap my head around it. I don't know if they're taking some kind of bad drugs or I just don't know. I just don't know, but I'm listening and I'm learning, and I thank you so much for everything you do, Solomon.
You're welcome.
Hi, Kuwait, sir.
Okay, she said hi. And thank you so much, Miss Hattie. We appreciate your call this morning on WURD. I want to go back to the phone lines, 215-634-8065. Gary from Germantown is online, too. Go ahead, Gary.
Brother Joe, great to hear your voice.
Thank you.
We love your impactful situation on what you got going on here.
Thank you.
And I'm not trying to take nothing from the Man Up program, but I wanted to ask about Brother Minister Rodney Muhammad.
Uh-huh.
I know they had a show on. He had a show on there before, but I was wondering what was his idea about the shootings and what might go on. I know Man Up is doing great things.
I don't know. I do know that the last time I talked to Minister Rodney about that issue, he was telling me that they had some brothers in the Fruit of Islam being trained about going to various corners and trying to deal with that issue. So you'd have to ask him, though, about the details about that. That was a few months ago when I talked to him about that.
Yes, sir.
All right.
I really appreciate what you're doing at Man Up, and I'll see you at one of the next meetings.
All right, brother. I appreciate you, and thank you so much. God bless you, too, and thank you for your call. Today has been very interesting. We appreciate each and every one of you, but that's going to do it for Wake Up with Word. And so I want to thank everybody who tuned in, and I want to thank all of our guests who joined us on today's show, including State Senator Vincent Hughes, political commentator Jay McCalla, Deacon Keith Collins from my church, the Great Commission Church at 2043 East Burn Avenue. If you want to see love in action, right? Something other than somebody just talking about love, then come out this Saturday between 12 and 2 at the Great Commission Church at 2043 East Burn Avenue for the food distribution. Have somebody pray with you. Have somebody talk to you, because that's what love really is. It meets your needs, whether they're physical or spiritual or otherwise. And now, for everybody here at WURD, including super producer Kawesa Mathis, I am your host, Solomon Jones, saying stay tuned for Reality Check with Charles Ellison, and tune in tomorrow at 7 for more Wake Up with Word. Peace.
Weather and traffic to keep you informed for your morning commute
On Wake Up with Word, weekdays 7 a.m. till 10 a.m., hosted by Solomon Jones.
right here
On Word Radio, 96.1 FM.
and 900 AM WURD.
Just one more step. You got it.
You're doing great. This is the sound of a nationally ranked top rehabilitation hospital, home to the largest collection of robotics in the United States, where we continually exceed patient expectations, because no injury is too severe or too minor for our care.
There you go.
This is the sound of success. Moss Rehab. Challenge accepted.